Hi guys. And I actually don't have to tweet this out this time because I pretty much already did. Had to do a quick restart. Either way, we're picking up back up with this game because this game actually doesn't have too much more to it, at least in terms of my streams, because Moe Novel, as you guys can see here, the people who pretty much translated or localized this game, generally speaking, they're not okay with people streaming any of the ending content or like the later portions of the game, e.g. The endings and whatnot. So I mentioned this towards the end of last stream, and I will be mentioning it again now because it does mean that after I get to a certain point, I will have to put this series on a bit of hiatus. So this may end up being the last episode, so to speak. I don't know, like I'll have to see where I am at the end of this. So pretty much at around 9 o'clock like I usually do, I'll see how far I get, and maybe I might be able to do another, but again, I honestly don't really know how much is left of this, and I don't want to end up streaming something where I know Moe Novel won't be alright with me. I might be able to get to it later next month, I don't know, but as soon as I get to a certain point, the series will be put on hiatus, which again, it shouldn't be too much of a big deal because as I've been mentioning in a lot of my streams now, I do have a ton of visual novels on the backlog ready to go, so, and those ones for sure I can stream endings and do whatever with, so that'll definitely be a thing to look forward to. Either way, in terms of actual plot and progression of this game as a whole, we did complete the Dobsonian telescope and the Christmas Eve viewing, which seemed to go really well. Again, I was technically tricked into looking through the telescope, but again, it was confirmed that it was pretty much the only way they were going to end up making me look through it. So I'm pretty sure where we last left off, Hikari is at this point already gone for about a year, and yeah, we'll see how things go with this. The stargazing event had gone off without any problems, and it was a few days later. It was the middle of winter break, and everybody was busy with their end-of-year plans. Like they are now. Or like you might be now. That was when my life began to change. Saya grumbled, sounding a bit sullen as she stroked Kotaro's head. Iza, never mind. Saya was bent over, and I could feel waves of icy emotions coming off of her back, so I snuck by her and carried my luggage into my new home. So I now have a new place. This place looks nice. Decent enough. Yeah, I like it. Damn it, Hikari. I grumbled as I deposited my things in the corner of the room. Oh, so she's not gone yet. Hikari came in behind me and dropped some more bags on the floor. Then how does she know about Komako? And what about our promise? I like her casual wear here. now, thanks to you, I'm forced to live in this situation that can only be described as an ice age. I was being tormented by Saya's icy glares and passive-aggressive comments. There was no way I could expect any Odin now.
Don't mind.
Her attitude was so flippant, I almost wanted to hit her.
それよか。引っ越しの片付けしちゃおうよ。
I can take care of the rest myself. It's not like I have that much anyway.
そう言わずに手伝わせてよ。日本にいられるのもあとちょっとなんだから。
With that, Hikari started cleaning up. Fine. Starting today, this is where I'd be living. Starting today! No, I'm kidding. It took a while, but I'd finally found a place to stay. It was only a minute walk from the station and even had a convenience store underneath it. It really felt like I was living on my own in the city. On top of that, rent was cheap and it even included meals. Deals this good were few and far between. There was just one thing I was worried about.
ねえ、ここに住むってことは先生と結婚する気になったってこと？
Absolutely not.
まあ、早乙女先生美人だし、先生ならしょうがないかなって思うけどさ。
I just said that has nothing to do with it. The room was on the second floor of the Stop and Buy convenience store. The room was part of Miss Miharu Saotome's house. This was a house that our old homeroom teacher had grown up in. I can't wait to graduate and get out on my own. The room was great, and it was exactly what I wanted, but I didn't want to get stuck here and turn into Miss Miharu's adopted son.
おや？エッチな方発見！
You see, that is actually really nice. The belt there, the undershirt, the necklace, the black cardigan. It's really nice. I like it. It is not! Hikari was holding a comic magazine that did have a few racy bikini model pages. She slid it under my dictionary. I was living at school. There's no way I would have something like that.
その割には必死すぎない？
Most people probably wouldn't consider this a naughty book, but I guess it would depend on who you ask. By the way, Hikari, there's been something I've wanted to ask you for a while now.
何？
A while back, you told me you were sick of looking at the stars.
そうだっけ？
Don't play dumb. That was one of the reasons we'd had our huge fight. You told me you were sick of it, but you never really stopped watching the stars, did you? It wasn't just at the Six Stars Club activities either. Hikari had been looking at the stars the whole time since back then. That much was obvious after going back through chat logs with Komako. So why did you say it?
なんでかな。ただの気まぐれ？ほら、私秋っぽいし。
It looked like she was going to avoid the question until the very end then. If you say so. In that case, you won't mind if I read that letter.
なんでそうなるのよ。
I think the real reason is written in that letter, that's what. Oh? Did I hit a nerve? Hikari was getting flustered. Did that mean it really was written in that letter?
そんなことしたら、コマコさんのログ、さやに見せるわよ。
Fine by me. The secret's already out anyway. If she finds out what you've been up to, Saya... If she finds out what you've been up to, Saya will not be pleased with you either, you know. I had no doubt that my ice age with Saya would get even colder, but Hikari would be affected by the aftermath as well. Hikari looked like someone had poked her in a sore spot and didn't say anymore. I won't read the letter if you'll talk about your reason. What do you say? Will you talk to me?
だから、ただの気まぐれだって。私の性格、よく知ってるでしょ？
I did. That was how I could tell something wasn't right. Hikari wasn't one to easily betray the things she cared about. Hikari bit her lip as she glared at me. She really did not want to talk about it. But I couldn't let her leave without hearing her reason, so I refused to back down.
わかった。話すよ。
Thank you.
でも、顔見られてると話しづらい。あっち向いてて。
After all this time, are there really things you get embarrassed about around me?
あるわよ。パンツとか見られたくないもん。
Other people would be embarrassed about saying that out loud too, I thought to myself. Alright, fine. I rolled my eyes, but turned around and sat cross-legged on the floor. Hikari was probably making sure I wasn't going to suddenly spin back around to look at her. Here, I'll even close my eyes for you. I closed my eyes.
あのね、実はね。
Yo, I am actually... Oh gosh, what is this? Hikari hesitantly began speaking.
私、あの時。
Something felt strange. When I turned to look over my shoulder, Hikari was tiptoeing out of the room. Hey! Wait right there!
やだ、待たない。
Then you're fine with me reading the... I stopped mid-sentence. Hikari was holding an envelope with a bunny sticker on it. Hey! Give that back!
やだやだ、絶対返さない。
When I stood up to take the letter back, Hikari stuffed it down the front of her shirt into her bra.
へへ、これでどうよ。
Hikari thrust her chest out, a look of triumph on her face. Even with all her clothes, I could see that her chest was quite large. That meant her bra would be plenty big, enough so that stuffing a letter in it would be no problem.
取れるもんなら取ってみなさい。ほれほれ。
You really think that's gonna stop me? Hikari faltered at that.
嘘。
Give me back the letter!
やだやだ、ターンマ、隠すとこ変えるからパンツに隠すから待って。
It would make no difference to me. Without hesitation, I lunged forward to get the letter back.
で、こら、揉んでる、それ本当に揉んじゃってるって。
Oh dear. But LOL. Yo, that tracks her. Is this Shintaro here? No, I'm kidding. Stop moaning. You're going to make me feel weird.
なりなさいよ、ちょっとは。っていうか、もだえてないし、全然もだえてなんかないし。
Hikari kept moaning as she said this. I hadn't intended on it, but I began to feel a strange sensation. Why the hell does this feel so soft? It seriously felt like I was touching something made of fluffy marshmallows. But this was Hikari! This was getting me nowhere, so I decided to settle things once and for all.
ってそこじゃない、そこ服に手入れないで。
If he'd stop squirming, this would be over already.
エッチ変態ドエッチ。誰か。
Miss Miharu had entered the room and did not look happy. It looked like the veins on her forehead would pop right out.
引っ越してきて早々部屋に女を連れ込むとはいい度胸してるじゃないの。甘つさえ無理やり行為に及ぼうだなんて。
No, this isn't what it looks like.
先生、アキトがひどいんです。
Hikari ran and hid behind Miss Miharu. Hey, get back here! Miss Miharu moved to block my way before I could get to
そこ
Hikari.
に座りなさい、空見くん。正座よ。
But I need to...
早く。
Yes, ma'am. I
あな
sat.
たがそういうことに
Alright,
興
hold
味を
on.
持
I
つ
can
年
do
頃だというのは先生よくわかるわ。
Say that.
けれどね、順序というものがあるの。嫌がる女の子に無理やり行為に及ぶというのは。
It had been years since I had heard Miss Miharu use her teacher scolding voice. As she began, Hikari looked at me.
ごめんね。
Hikari mouthed the word silently before she descended down the stairs without a sound. Damn you, Hikari. Miss Miharu's lecture had lasted a full hour, the last half of which was her explaining how terrible I was for getting frisky in an unmarried woman's house. Hikari did call her later to explain that it was just a misunderstanding, but she had still made off with the letter. That was probably her reason for offering to help me move right from the start. She had played me for a fool.
悪かったわよ。勘違いして。
No, it's our fault for doing something that could be taken the wrong way in the first place. I was more upset that Hikari didn't have to suffer through an hour of listening to the trials and tribulations of an unmarried woman with me.
でもね、私が言ったことはとても大事なことなのよ。特に年頃のあなたたちには。
As she said this, Miss Miharu grabbed the box off the shelf and walked over to the register. She scanned it and paid for it herself.
おごりよ。持ってなさい。
What is it? The box was very colorful. The unknowing customer might think it was a box of cigarettes or some candy, but I worked here. I knew exactly what it was. They were a type of contraceptive device. They were made out of latex and meant specifically for men.
大人の男のたしなみよ。
She said it with a cool air about her, but she couldn't keep her cheeks from blushing a bit. With that, she hurriedly made her way to the back of the store. If you're going to be awkward about it, you don't need to do it in the first place. I wish she'd put herself in my shoes before doing this. How does she think I feel getting condoms from my old childhood teacher? I wasn't sure if I really wanted to take them or not, but I shoved the colorful box into my pocket before anybody could see me with it. Yeah, I'm staying at Miss Miharu's starting today. I just got out of the shower.
じゃあもう天文部行っても食い物はねえのか。
Even if there wouldn't be any for you. I was drying my hair with a towel as I made my way back to my room. Miss Miharu had let me use her bath that time I went swimming in the dead of winter, but now the old tiles had been replaced and it looked great.
お前が下宿始めたら入り浸ろうって思ってたけど、1000センチじゃできねえな。
If you're just stopping by to hang out, it should be fine. Come by whenever you like, Take.
おう、引っ越し祝い持ってくわ。
As we spoke, I put my legs under the heated table. It was going to be another cold night. The box of condoms that Miss Miharu had given me sat in front of me. I forgot I had left it out. I decided to put it somewhere out of sight. For a moment, I considered throwing it out, but then I figured there was a slim possibility I may end up using them. And who the heck would I use them with? Alright, 4 is where I put the decisions. Swoosh! For a brief moment, Hikari's face popped into my head. I guess it couldn't be helped after accidentally touching her breasts like I did today. They were so soft. I knew that compared to guys, the female body was softer, but that was on an entirely different level. Just thinking about it gave me a strange fuzzy feeling inside. Wait, what was I thinking? This was all Miss Miharu's fault for giving me these stupid things. I shook my head to get rid of these strange thoughts.
どうした？
No, it's nothing.
光っていつまでこっちにいるんだ？
She said she is spending the New Year's holiday here, then leaving right after. I guess that means she'll be here for most of the winter break. Takeichi made a sound that I wasn't sure was interest or indifference.
光が外国ね。ま、あいつならどこでもマイペースにやってけそうではあるけどな。
Probably. So you know, one of the girls from the club, Noriko, goes to school with Hikari. She said Hikari is normally quiet and doesn't talk much. Can you believe that?
あの光が？
I knew Takeichi wouldn't be able to believe it either. She was surprised when she saw how Hikari acted around me and Saya. Apparently Hikari doesn't have many close friends over there.
ああ、なんとなく想像つくかも。
What? Really?
あいつって昔からちょっと浮いてるとこあったじゃん。
Really? But she had lots of friends. She had always seemed cheerful and the center of attention in class to me.
まあそうなんだけどよ。でもエネルギーが有り余りすぎてて空回りしてるっつうか。普通の女子じゃあいつのノリについてけないっつうか。
Thinking about it, I suppose he was right.
アキトと天の川が来てからずっと3人でつるんでたじゃねえか。
I suppose.
お前らぐらいだよ。光についていけたの。
I feel like you're calling me an oddball or something. I'm not sure I like it.
お前らが来てから光のやつ生き生きしてたし、だからまあ良かったんじゃねえか。
Not the most satisfactory conclusion. But when I thought about it, I didn't know what kind of person Hikari was before she began looking at the stars with us. By the time we became friends, she was already stargazing. After that, we'd go together almost every clear night there was. What had Hikari done to pass the time before that? How had she satisfied her curiosity and her need to always be doing something?
送別会とかやらねえの？
Yeah, with the Six Stars Club. Do you want to come? Well, if you want to come, let me know. Anybody who was at our stargazing event is welcome to come.
おう。
He was probably still suffering from his ordeal with Narue. Takichi's mood took a sudden turn for the worse, so I tried to console him a bit before we finally hung up the phone. Guess I'd better just dry my hair and go to sleep. After sleeping at the school for so long, I can't remember the last time I'd had a proper futon to sleep on. I was thinking about how great it was going to be as I checked for messages on my phone. I really need to speak with you. Can we talk? Dear Saya, are you feeling better yet? Please talk to me. We'll go out and I'll buy you some pancakes. She's read them all. The messages got marked read almost right after I sent them, but she never responds. I guess she's more angry than I expected. I let out a few more sighs as I finished blow-drying my hair. Today was Hikari's farewell party. I've been working hard at my job since that morning. Saya kept glaring at me from the cafe corner of the convenience store as I worked. I took out my phone. Can you forgive me yet? Saya read the message I sent, but she spun around to face the window and sipped her coffee. What's the big deal anyway? All I did was exchange messages with an office lady in the city. Was it really so bad for a young guy from the countryside to indulge in a fantasy? It's not like we had some kind of indecent relationship or something. If Saya saw that picture, she'd probably never speak to me again. It didn't matter whose cleavage it was. It could be some office ladies, Hikari's, or even Hikari's dad's for that matter. She'd ignore any explanation I gave. Saya saw somebody outside and gave a little wave.
ごめん、電車乗り遅れちゃって。私も今来たとこだよ。
Saya was always so polite. She'd been sitting there drinking her coffee for the last 30 minutes. She really was a nice girl. Though, that was probably just because it let her sit there and kill time by giving me the stink eye for so long.
あよーす。
Welcome to stopping by.
なにその冷めた態度。
I was still mad at her for stealing that letter the other day. Sensing my mood, she came over and whispered in my ear.
機嫌直してよ。その分おっぱい揉めたんだし。
What? That was not what happened!
アキトってむっつりだよね。
Hikari was enjoying herself too much as she picked up a bottle of mineral water and a rice ball.
あと豚まん一つください。
That'll be 534 yen. I took her money and handed back her change.
さあやー、半分こしよう。お昼食べられなくなっちゃうよ。平気平気。豚まんは別腹だから。
I guess Hikari hadn't eaten breakfast that morning. Hikari and Saya had plans to go hang out in Harbor Town. They were both excited about having a girls' date. The farewell party was after that.
早乙女の豚まんも これが食べ納めかも。寂しいな。帰ってきたらまた食べに来ればいいじゃない。おっちゃんが引退してなきゃいいけど。
The store owner's husband was the one who made the pork buns. He worked at a factory down near the ocean. Making pork buns was just a hobby of his. He was getting older though and was thinking of retiring. There was no telling when stopping by's famous pork buns would no longer be around.
大丈夫だよ。娘さんの婿養子が後を継いでくれるから。そうなの、アキト。
I'm just helping him? It was true that I was helping with the pork buns as a thank you for renting me the room so cheap, but it wasn't like they expected me to take over the store. At least, I didn't think so.
そろそろバス来るよ。
Hikari bit into her half of the pork bun with gusto. Saya finished hers first and stood up to put her coat on. When she did, something fell out of her pocket. Hey, Saya, you dropped something.
やばい、バス来た。さや、急ごう。待ってよ。
The bus was pulling into the roundabout as the two hurried out of the store. Those two sure can be noisy. I went over and picked up the object that Saya had dropped. I thought it might have been her wallet, but... This is the letter. There was no mistaking it. There was the bunny sticker. But why does Saya have it? I was positive I saw it fall out of Saya's coat. This was definitely the same letter that Hikari had swiped from me. There was one thing that was different about it, though. The bunny sticker was torn. It was then that the shop owner came out of the back.
ソラミク、休憩してきていいわよ。
Yes, ma'am. I put on an air of nonchalance as I slipped the letter into my apron's pocket and went on my break. When I got to my room upstairs, I took out the letter and stared at it. Hikari, you think a little squeeze of your breast is enough to make up for having to listen to Miss Miharu lecture me for an hour? Besides, I hadn't done it with that intention anyway. Now, if she'd let me really get in there and take my time, that would be a different story. But I wasn't about to demand that of her anyway. She'd label me as a pervert for the rest of my life, I was sure. Which meant... I'll have to read this instead! I opened the envelope. Inside was a single sheet of girly-looking stationery. It really looked like a stereotypical love letter. I had never imagined Hikari as the kind of girl to have such cute stationery before. I swallowed in anticipation. For 4 years, I hadn't been able to read or even throw away this letter. Now, here it was in my hands. It was finally time to read it. My hands began to shake with nervousness. For a brief instant, I hesitated, but Hikari would be leaving Japan in a few days, and there was a slim chance I could go forever without knowing the truth of that day.
飽きちゃった。星とか見るのもう飽きちゃったんだ。だからもういいやって。ノートももう完成してるし、あとはさやと2人でやりなよ。じゃあね。
I unfolded the letter. For a child, the handwriting certainly looked careful and neat. I know this is sudden and I don't want to put you on the spot, but I wanted to know how you feel. That is why I am writing this letter. I have liked you for a long time now. Please go out with me. I'll be waiting at our usual spot on the bridge tomorrow. I would really like to hear your answer. It was actually a real love letter. I had expected an explanation about the truth of that day, but it was completely unrelated. A completely different truth, one that I had never expected, was written there at the bottom of the letter. Saya Amanogawa. Saya was the one who wrote this letter? But Hikari is the one who gave it to me. Saya had written it, and Hikari had given it to me. There was nothing strange about that. It was completely normal for a best friend to deliver a love letter in your place, which meant... So this was actually another possibility. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it was something I was thinking about in the back of my mind. As I was thinking about the different possibilities of this letter, one of which was it was never a love letter to begin with, which I know for sure I mentioned, but the other one was it was going to be this twist of it maybe was a love letter, but it was Saya's love letter to me that perhaps she was too shy to give to me herself, so she had Hikari give to me. Saya liked me? I had never expected anything like this. My mind went completely blank.
海の向こうへ旅立つ我らが同志
Alright, give me a
大木
sec,
星
guys.
ひかりさんの前途を祝して
Okay, that should be good. Just had to do a quick post thing. Hikari Hokiboshi, we wish you the best of luck in your travels overseas.
乾杯
So this is a farewell party.
乾杯
We all raised our juice-filled paper cups and toast.
いやいや、どうもどうも。ひかりさんがいなくなると寂しくなります。短い間だったけど一緒に部活できて楽しかったよ。
南半球の星座が見られるなんて羨ましいです。
行かないでよピカリン。ごめんねコロナ。その名前で呼んだこと許してあげるから私のことも許してよ。やだ、ちょっとしていいから行かないで。
Corona threw her arms around Hikari, who hugged her back and gave her a reassuring pat on the head.
さやと仲良くするんだよ。さやをお姉ちゃんだと思って。やだ、絶対やだ。いいだ。こいつね。
ひかりさん星の一生に比べるとあまりにも一瞬でしたが共に活動できて本当に楽しかったわ。
白鳥さん。
けれど私たちはこれで終わりじゃない。むつら星の会海外支部としての活躍に期待しているわ。
任せてください。
Hikari gave a salute.
南十字星に南の空の星座たち。幻の鳳凰座流星群も見れちゃうかも。
写真頼むよ。こないだ星の撮り方教えてやったでしょ。
はい、撮れたら送るんでむつら星のブログに載せてくださいね。どんどんちょうだい。サイトが賑やかになりますね。
むつら星の会の活動がよりグローバルになるわね。
You can't see the entire night sky from one place. There are many stars that can only be seen from the northern hemisphere, and just as many that can only be seen from the southern hemisphere. Apparently, the Southern Cross is just barely visible if you go to Okinawa, but it doesn't ever make it far above the horizon. If you want to really see it, you have to go somewhere in the southern hemisphere. Though, I've heard that the real thing is actually pretty small and you'll be disappointed if you're expecting something amazing. Today was Hikari's farewell party, but it was also a kind of post-party for the stargazing meetup the other day. All the Six Stars Club members were there, but there were a lot of guests from the meetup as well. Even Takeichi, who'd gotten his heart broken by Narue, came to help give Hikari a nice send-off.
飲み物足んないね。そうですね。コンビニで買ってきましょうか。
あ、俺行きます。
Until then, Takeichi had been looking a little uncomfortable. He jumped at this, however. He didn't really have an interest in astronomy and couldn't keep up with the conversation. He probably just wanted an excuse to get some fresh air.
私行くよ。コンビニに用事あるし。
Takeichi stumbled over his words for a moment. How ironic is it that I stumbled over the words saying that Takeichi stumbled over? He'd been trying to avoid Narue the whole night.
じゃあ2人で行っといでよ。竹は荷物持ちってことで。
荷物持ちならうちの一元がいるけど。
いや、俺行きます。俺もコンビニに用事あるんで。
そう。じゃあよろしく。
Should I go too?
あんたはいいの。
Hikari grabbed my arm and stopped me from leaving. What are you doing?
空気読みなさい。
I thought that was exactly what I had been doing. That's why I'd offered to go. I whispered my protestation in Hikari's ear. My protestation. Take is going to feel awkward with just the two of them.
そんなことないわよ。よく見てみなさい。竹の顔。
Takeichi didn't look annoyed at all by the turn of events as he followed Narue out the door.
神野さん、確かにあの後輩くんと仲いいけど、付き合ってるとかじゃなさそうなんだよね。まだあれ、脈あるわよ。
You think so? I wasn't completely convinced, but I also hadn't been paying attention closely, so I couldn't be sure.
それより、壁んとこでさやが寂しそうにしてるよ。
Oh, you're right. Saya doesn't do well at these kinds of events. She's pretty shy around strangers. She got here a little late and she's still not that close with the other members.
Saya!
Hikari dragged me by the arm over to where Saya was standing. Hey, Hikari!
飲んでる？うん、飲んでるよ、ウーロン茶。
Hey, oolong tea. I love oolong tea.
ねえ、さや、アキトのことそろそろ許してやってよ。OL のふりしてた私も悪いんだからさ。
Saya seemed to be studying my face.
それにさ、あんたたちが喧嘩したままじゃ心配で日本を離れられないよ。だからね。分かった。でも今回だけだよ、アキトくん。
Right.
どうしたの、アキト。なんか顔赤いよ。
It's nothing. Leave me alone. I casually shook off Hikari's grip on my arm and turned away from Saya. I couldn't look her in the eye right now. It was all because I'd read that letter earlier. I have liked you for a long time now. Please go out with me. I glanced toward Saya out of the corner of my eye. Saya had her head tilted to the side and was looking back at me confused. I couldn't take that cute stare of hers and couldn't help but look away. Then, Saya sort of deflated. Saya, I'm sorry. I'm not sure what's wrong, but I didn't mean to make you feel down.
だってアキトくん怒ってるもん。 OL さんと仲良くしてたくらいで私が冷たい態度取ったりしたから。だから呆れちゃったんでしょ。そうなの？
No, of course
じ
not.
ゃあなんでサヤをいじめるか。
I'm not teasing her.
だったらいつもみたいにサヤにいい子してあげなさい。
Huh? I guess that since I was acting so weird around her, she thought I didn't want to pat her on the head anymore or something. That's not... The look in Saya's eyes as she looked at me was extremely sad. I raised a trembling hand and gave Saya a pat on the head. Her hair was even softer and silkier than I remember. Saya's face slowly softened, and I could almost hear her mood change. She reminded me a bit of Kotaro. Is that better?
いい？満足した。満足したって。
What are you, her translator now?
サヤの保護者？
That's cute, coming from you. I always thought Saya was the one who looked after Hikari. Noriko's voice suddenly erupted from the other side of the room. She was literally trembling in amazement. She was usually pretty quiet, but from time to time, her reactions could be a little over the top.
今日のパーティーのために北海道から取り寄せましたの。さあ、皆さんも召し上がれ。
Everyone started swarming around the amazingly delicious cheesecake. Apparently, it had a fancy name like fromage or something like that.
私も！
You don't have to panic. I'm sure there's plenty for everyone. We weren't going to eat it all before the guest of honor got to have some, right? Saya gave me one last questioning glance before she hurried off after Hikari. I knew things were going to feel weird. When Saya was standing in front of me, I couldn't help but think of the letter. No matter how much I tried to act naturally, there was no hiding it from a longtime friend. It's times like these that childhood friends are a pain. I muttered under my breath as I went to get a piece of cheesecake for myself.
So, それでは皆様、縁も竹縄ですが、そろそろお開きの時間ですわ。
Everybody let out a disgruntled groan. Orihime nodded in satisfaction at everyone's response. It was almost like they had an unspoken
名
agreement.
残惜しいけれど、日は昇り、また沈みゆくもの。天体の運行を止めることは誰にもできません。最後に、ひかりさんから別れの挨拶をいただきたいと思います。
Hikari was stuffing leftover cheesecake into her face, as was her right, but froze at her name. She moved to the front with plate and fork still in hand.
ビシッと決めてよね。
ほうき星さん、ファイト！ピカリン！ちょっと待ってね。光、後にしなよ。
Saya looked a bit embarrassed as she stepped forward to take Hikari's plate and fork.
いやいや、どうもどうも、ほうき星ひかりです。知ってます。
Honoka poked back at Hikari's little joke, earning a little chuckle from everybody. Hikari scratched her head, embarrassed to be up in front of everyone.
私は子供の頃に天体観測の楽しさを知って、けどそれから色々あって、しばらくあまり星を見てませんでした。そんな私がひょんなことからむつら星の会と出会い、おかげでまた星を見ることができました。いやー、やっぱいいですね、星。
Orihime was nodding her head enthusiastically, a big smile on her face.
一人で見る星はちょっと寂しいけれど、みんなで見る星は賑やかで楽しかった。私は遠く南の国へ行ってしまいますが、でも心はこの星の中に置いていきます。あっちに行っても一緒に空を見上げましょう。
Hikari did a couple of mock bows as everyone applauded her speech.
また帰ってくるんだよね。うん、そのつもりだよ。
お待ちしてますね。それまでむつら星の会を我々で守っていきますから。ひかりさんたちはむつら星の未来を担っていく次の世代。 待してるわ。
はい。
By the time Hikari gets back, Orihime will have graduated and moved on. Narue, Noriko, and Keisuke were second years, so they'll have retired from the club as well. The only ones left of the current Six Stars Club members, or the only ones left of the current Six Stars Club would be the current first years like Honoka, Saya, and myself. It was a bit sad to consider, but she would most certainly add something to the group once again when she came back. That was the kind of person she was.
みんな本当にありがとう。
Get the applause, stop now! Okay. With one final magnificent applause, the farewell party came to a close. Damn.
それじゃあほうき星さん、向こうに行っても元気でね。のりちゃん先輩も元気でね。
Everyone stopped to say a few last words or shake Hikari's hand as they headed home.
楽しかった。送別会ってしんみりしてて苦手だったけど、今日のは全然そんなことなかったね。
They're only bored when the person getting the send-off is boring, you know?
なーにょ
Hikari was still in high spirits when the party and lunged to grab me, but I jumped out of the way and ran off.
素早いやつ。
What's the matter? All that cake slowing you down?
女の子になんてこと言うの？デリカシーなさすぎでしょ。この
Hikari let out a burst of speed as she chased after me. I managed to get away though.
転ぶよ。
Saya just watched the scene with a grin on her face.
捕まえた。
Whoa, I don't think so. I just barely slipped past Hikari's grasp and ran behind Saya to use her as a shield.
おりゃ
Hikari ended up running straight into Saya, wrapping her arms around her.
さやいい匂い。ほんのり甘い香りがする。やだ、匂い嗅がないで。
Saya pushed Hikari away.
いいやないか、いいやないか。
Hikari tried to go in for another sniff, but Saya threw out her hands to keep her away.
もう。さやたんかわゆいの。こんなかわゆい子を日本に残していくなんてちょっと心配だな。
Hikari said this in a tone that made it sound a little rehearsed.
いっそあんたたち二人が付き合ってくれれば安心なんだけど。ちょっと
Knock it off.
秋人くん
You shouldn't just blurt out whatever comes to mind without thinking about it first.
ごめん。でもなんでおばちゃん口調？
Jeez, you should really work on that. I could feel my face getting hot, so I had to turn away as I said this. Hikari and Saya both looked at me like I was acting strangely. This was bad. I felt like I was revealing more than I wanted to. I think I'll wait here and go home with Take and the others.
なんでよ。
Oh, I just figured you two still had some things you wanted to talk about alone.
朝のうちにだいたい済ませたよ。
What is taking Take and the others so long? Even I could tell that I wasn't fooling anyone with my terrible acting. I knew that was the case, but I was doing the best I could considering the pressure I was under.
行こう、光。でも。
Saya grabbed her arm and led her away from me.
じゃあね、また連絡するから。またね、バイバイ。
Good night. Be careful on your way home. I stayed behind to wait for Takeichi as they got on the bus to head home. I feel so uncool right now. When they were out of sight, I let out another quiet sigh. Ever since I had read that letter, I'd been unable to control my feelings. I hadn't had enough time to prepare myself before seeing Hikari and Saya again at the party, and this was the result. I'll have to tell Hikari the truth later. I decided to wait until I knew the two of them were no longer together before sending a message. After thinking it over, I started wondering what was taking Takeichi so long. Hikari had told him to stay behind and help Narue and the others clean up after the party. He'd complained, but had done what she said in the end. I guess I'll go lend a hand too. I needed something to do to take my mind off the situation at hand anyway, so I made my way back inside. Welcome.
読んじゃったってどういうことよ。
Too angry to wait for the automatic door, Hikari burst into the store. Hey, did you come back on purpose?
これが戻らずにいられますかっての。どういうことか説明してもらおうじゃないの。
Wait, calm down, we're in public. I brought Hikari over to the cafe space and sat her down. She was like an angry dog. She was even panting like one. Open up.
あー
I put some chocolate into her mouth.
甘い。
Once Hikari calmed down, I pulled out the love letter from my pocket and explained how I had picked it up. So I just picked it up after Saya dropped it.
それであんた今日ずっとさやに対する態度が変だったんだ。
As Hikari swallowed the information along with the chocolate, she looked at me with hateful eyes. Why didn't you tell me when you gave it to me? I thought you wrote it the whole time.
だって読めばわかるじゃんそんなの。読まないなんて思わないでしょ普通。
I hated hearing that, but as for this letter, not reading it had been a perfectly reasonable choice. Hikari and I had basically gone our separate ways at that point. Why did you give this to me, Hikari?
ずっと相談に乗ってあげてたのよさやの。それであの子自分じゃ渡せないって言うから。
Listening to her, Hikari looked at me as if to say, "You're really asking that?"
6年の2学期よ。さやが急に私に聞いてきたの。アキトのことどう思ってるのかって。最初意味わかんなくてバカだなって思ってるよって答えたんだけど、そういうんじゃないって言われて、好きかどうかって聞かれたの。
Whoa, what a shock. Oh, and?
好きだよって答えた。じゃなきゃ遊ばないよって言ったら、それも違うって言うんだよね。それでまあなんだ、さやの気持ちを聞いたわけよ。でも私そういうのよくわかんないし、とりあえずさやとアキトが仲良くなれるようアシストしてみたのよ。
Like you did with Take today. Hikari nodded. Her help didn't seem necessary, but Takeichi didn't seem to mind too much. He looked happy going home, telling me he was going shopping with Narue. It wasn't so bad that she set up that chance for Takeichi, but... We're not talking about Take. So you were assisting Saya or whatever?
してたよ。でもあんた全然気づかないんだもん。
Even being told this, I had no recollection. For example...
ジュース回し飲みした時とか。飲む？うん、ありがとう。アキトも飲みなよ。
Oh, thank you.
やり。やーいやーい。さやとアキトが関節キス。
Knock it off.
関節キスしたからあんたたちもう夫婦だね。
Then you are too, Hikari. This is your drink.
じゃあ私たち3人で夫婦？
Was that my fault somehow?
あれおかしいな。私の記憶では今の今までゴール前にドンピシャのクロスボールを上げたことになってたんだけど。待ってまだだから、あの頃はまだ慣れてなかっただけで他にもあるよ。いいさや、アキトが来たら落ちそうになってるふりするんだよ。私が手を離すから下でアキトに受け止めてもらうの。危なくないかな。うまくいったらお姫様抱っこだよ。お姫様抱っこやる。よし。
Hey, You two up there already?
来たよ、早く。キャー怖いよ
Hey, what's going on?
アキト、大変だよ。サヤがまた落ちそうになってるの。助けて
Hang on, Saya.
風が
Saya!
待って、来ないでアク。風です。スカートが。サヤ、パンツ丸見えになってる。見ないで
Hey, settle down. Don't kick me.
やだ。危ない。本当に落ちるって。サヤ大丈夫？アキト、しっかりしろ。アキト
I remember I stopped Saya falling, but I hit my head and got a huge lump. I just glared at Hikari.
ほら、ナイスアシストだったでしょうに。
You're terrible at this. You have a ruinous inability to help people with love. You should quit. Hikari reeled back with a hand on her chest at my cold words.
でも、あの後サヤ喜んでたよ。アキトが命がけで助けてくれたって。
Of course I did. What would you have done if something happened? I didn't want to see Saya get hurt. I'd do anything to stop that.
あっくんのこと前より好きになっちゃったって言って赤くなってるサヤ可愛かったよ。
I had to admit it was cute. Saya's always cute. The only thing I could think of cuter than Saya was Kotaro as a puppy.
ああ、いいなあ。私がサヤと付き合いたいよ。そしたら毎日いい子するのに。
Could you have assisted with those words as well?
あの言葉？
Like when you said you were tired of looking at the stars. The smile left Hikari's face. It looked like I was right.
サヤとアキトがうまくいかないのって私のせいかもしれないって思ってて。それで
I got angry. It's like Hikari knew everything I wanted to say from my reproachful gaze.
ごめん。そのせいでアキトを傷つけちゃったんだよね。
Yeah, I got really hurt. I thought you were my best friend, but it hurt when you betrayed me like that.
ごめんなさい。
Hikari apologized dejectedly.
もう引っ越すの決まってたし、それなら私がアキトから離れればサヤとうまくいくんじゃないかって思ったの。うまくいってほしかったの、二人に。私がいなくなった後も仲良く幸せでいてほしかったから。
But I swallowed the words I was about to say.
分かってるよ。そんなのは私のエゴの押し付けだって。
You don't have to be sorry. You were thinking of Saya and I, right? Then I'm happy about that. Now I really understood why Hikari did what she did. We finally reached the real subject, but I was not feeling very good about it. I opened the letter and read it again. I'll be waiting in our usual spot on the bridge tomorrow. I would really like to hear your answer. I had never read the letter, so of course I had never replied to Saya. You gave this letter back to Saya, right? What did she say?
ね、
It looked hard for Hikari to say.
やっぱちょっとショック受けてたかな。でもそんなでもなかったよ。拍子抜けした感じで。そうだったんだ。ごめんね、サヤ。私が渡す時にちゃんと言っておかなかったから。光が謝ることじゃないよ。名前書いておかなかった私が悪いんだし、私に自分で渡す勇気があればよかったんだし。でもそっか、私振られたわけじゃなかったんだ。
But at the rate I'm going, I'm
絶
probably
対
going to
泣く
have
って
to.
思ってたからちょっと意外だった。
That was 4 years ago. It was a lot of Saya to ask you to give me this letter. It was when we were kids. A time when we liked each other because we ran fast on sports day or our voice was pretty when we read a poem in class. It wasn't surprising that Hikari had been so eager to recover this letter. If this love letter from back then came to light only now, Saya was the one that would be hurt the most. No wonder Hikari had tried to steal it. Looking at the letter, I felt a little sad. Saya had been waiting for my reply down at the bridge that day. The bridge where we had always met and gone to watch the stars. That bridge isn't even there anymore. Thinking that Saya's young crush disappeared along with it makes me sad. Just how long did Saya wait at that bridge? For me, who never showed up. I'm sure she waited a while. A long time, sad and lonely. That's the kind of girl Saya is. Saya and I became estranged after that. We were too old as boys and girls to play together, and you were gone, Hikari. I always thought that was why.
さやはアキトに振られたって思ってたんだよ。
Oh boy. Will you help me with something?
Oh?
I want to apologize to Saya.
そうだね。二人のためなら何だってするよ。
Thanks, Hikari. It was times like this that I was really grateful to have such a forgiving friend.
その前にさ、
Hikari said this, suddenly calm.
私にも軽く謝ってもらってもいいかな。
For what?
前にあんたがその手紙の話した時さ、私があんたに振られたみたいな空気にしたじゃない。
Huh? There's something I want to ask. Do you still like me? I had said that. But I had thought it was Hikari's love letter, so I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it, but remembering it is still embarrassing.
結構傷ついたんだよ。でもさやの手前、本当のこと言えないし。なんで告白したわけでもないのに振られなきゃいけないのよ。もう。
I got it. I bowed my head and apologized.
許す。
Hikari forgave me with a grumpy face. The new year was upon us, like it actually is. Here we go. For the first 3 days, I didn't do anything. Even the so-called convenience store was closed for the new year. I stayed in my room on New Year's Day and ate New Year's food from the Sautomes. My late mother's New Year's cooking was white miso flavor, but the Sautomes was a thin soy base. There was nicely browned chicken in a plain soup. It was a new flavor for me. After that, I said my prayers with Miss Miharu at a nearby shrine. Even though she was stingy with giving money, she prayed seriously. The second was more of the same. The third day was the problem. I visited my relatives who are my guardians. The reason I didn't go on New Year's Day was that I didn't want to break up the family spirit. I was being considerate, but also part of me didn't think I could stand it myself. That being said, I had to at least pay a visit. I visited my relative's house around noon, told them how things were at my place, and went home. The first 3 days of the new year had passed like that. Then it was the night of the 4th of January. The convenience store had opened today. I worked my part-time job from morning until night. I looked at my watch, it was almost closing time. Fidgeting, I watched outside the window. I heard the train arrive at the station. After a while, a person's shadow passed by the window. It was Hikari. I was relieved that Hikari had come first.
おっす小太郎、あっけおめ今夜は一段と冷えますな。ちょっとモフモフさせろ。わしわしわしわしゃ。うひひ、いい毛並みしてまんな。
What is she doing? Hikari was playing with Kotaro and not coming into the store. I stood there fidgeting. Kotaro's barking got high-pitched. As I moved my gaze to the window, I saw Saya walking up. Oh man, now Saya's here. Hearing my heart pound, I got my poker face ready to greet her.
さや けましておめでとう、ひかり。コタちゃんもおめでとう。
I was relieved for now that Saya didn't come in on her own. This is the first time I'd seen Saya since Hikari's going away party. The situation with the letter was bad, so I hadn't called her, and Saya must have been busy as she hadn't shown up at the store. The only communication we had shared was a few text messages.
明けましておめでとうございます。今年もよろしくお願いします。
Happy New Year, you too.
年賀状いつもいらないって言うから今年も用意してないけど。
It's okay. I don't like writing replies.
わかった。
And that was it. Saya's family always gathered at her grandmother's house for New Year celebrations. Every year, Saya helped her mother greet her relatives for the first 3 days of the new year. They finally came into the store.
サップ冷えるね。
Welcome. I greeted them with a grumpy voice. I was a little annoyed at being ignored.
あっけおめ明けましておめでとう、秋田くん。
Happy New Year. Have a good one.
なんか機嫌悪い？
No, same as always. Saya brought over a shopping bag.
はい、これおばあちゃん家でついたお餅だよ。先生と一緒に食べて。
Oh, thanks.
いいのいいの。
Hikari looked at the bag greedily. I'll be done soon. Can you wait over there? You want some coffee?
おしっこ近くなっちゃうからな。
I made a coffee for each of them and brought it over. Sitting down in chairs in the cafe corner, they wrapped their hands around the cups to warm themselves. How was it? Have you seen any?
まだわかんない。私もまだ一つも見てない。
I see. I wonder about this year. I said this looking at the blackness outside. It was the 4th of January, the best day for the quadrantid meteor shower. The 3 of us were going out to watch it tonight. Meteor showers had a peak time where you could hopefully see many shooting stars. There were predictions for the peak time every year, and the prediction for the quadrantid's peak time this year was today. That was my excuse to meet Saya, and my mission was to apologize about the letter. When I thought of Saya's personality, she'd probably cry if the letter was brought up. I was not confident I could apologize well either, so I wanted a quiet place that we could talk. It was my idea to have Hikari here so things seemed normal when we met, and to help out if things got weird. Saya might cry or she might get mad at me. It would be my own fault if she hated me then, but if Saya got hurt, I wanted someone there to comfort her. The only person for that was Hikari. So I made the plan to watch the meteor shower. Well, I'm sure we'd have gotten together even without the letter. Hikari would be leaving Japan the day after tomorrow. It could be a very long time until the 3 of us had another chance to watch the stars together. It was time for the store to close. The only customers in the store were Hikari and Saya. I'm closing up, so wait outside.
わかった。
We climbed onto the roof of the car, laid out a sheet, and lay down wrapped in sleeping bags and blankets. This is the right way to watch a meteor shower. Looking up hurts your neck, and it's too cold to just stand outside. Also, you don't know where the meteors will pass by, so it's best to be able to see the whole sky. The meteor showers all have names, like the Leonids and the Geminids. Leonids and the Geminids. I'm pretty sure that's how it actually is. They're named for their radiant point, the place in the sky they fall from, and which constellation that's closest to. So usually it's best to look at the constellation that is near the radiant point, but in reality, meteors could appear anywhere in the sky. When I was little, I used to try and watch the radiant point with a telescope. However, I remember being disappointed that I never caught a meteor in the narrow field of view. By the way, one would assume that radiant point from the quadrantid meteor shower would be Quadrans Muralis, but that's not actually the case. The Quadrans Muralis constellation isn't recognized anymore. Quadrans Muralis was originally named after a quadrant, a fan-shaped device that could measure the altitude of celestial bodies. However, Quadrans Muralis was left out of today's recognized 88 constellations, but the name has been preserved in the name of the meteor shower. The quadrantid's radiant point is closest to Draco, so it's always sometimes called the meteor shower of
あ
Draco.
んまり流れないね。
Draco. It'll pick up soon, won't it?
あ、今流れた。え、嘘、どこどこ？もう消えちゃったよ。私の頭の上の方。見逃した。
Usually when watching meteor showers, each person watches a different angle and counts the meteors they see. But this time we were just watching for fun, so we weren't so strict about where we were looking. But still, it was a habit of astronomers to naturally divide up the sky. The peak time this year was already this afternoon, so we shouldn't get our hopes up. The quadrantids, along with the Perseids and the Geminids, were known as the three most active meteor showers. But for the quadrantids, the peak time is only a few hours long, so having those few hours fall during the day was a bit disappointing.
もうそろそろ月も沈んでる頃だよね。
As with all astronomical observation, moonlight gets in the way of meteor watching. The number of meteors you can see changes depending on if the moon is out or not.
光、どうかした？うん。
Hikari answered gloomily.
星の中の空もずいぶん暗くなったなって。前にもさ、四分ギザ流星群見たじゃない？あの時はもっと星が見えてた気がする。
Hikari wasn't wrong about that. The visible stars had definitely decreased. Hoshinonaka City had grown quickly in the last few years. And compared to when Hoshino City and Amanonaka City were separate, the roads had improved and there were more streetlights. There were more shops open late, and there were more bright signs than before. Even the Saotome shop was now the stop-and-buy convenience store. Therefore, the night sky was darker than before. Some of the fainter stars had been erased by the city lights, as if they were hiding somewhere.
この間の観測会の夜はすごくいっぱい星が見えたじゃない。そうだね。綺麗だったね。
Hikari smiled slightly, remembering the bright starry sky of that night.
あんな夜もあるんだから、まだまだ捨てたもんじゃないね。
Maybe even special nights like that would be swallowed someday by the lights of the city. It was like I could feel her thoughts hidden behind her smile. It can't be helped. To gain something, you lose something. That's how it is. I said this logically, but it didn't make me feel better. What did it matter to most people that the sky was darker or that you could see less meteors? To them, what we gained in return was so much greater. However, when I looked at the slightly darker sky and thought of the stars I couldn't see anymore, I couldn't help feeling sad. I was worried that one day I wouldn't be able to see any stars at all.
やっぱ行くのやめよっかな。
Hikari said this suddenly.
アキトとサヤとまた遊ぶようになったって話したらね。帰ってくる頃にはここから見る夜空が今夜よりも暗く寂しくなってるかもしれない。今ならまだ取り消せる。アキトとサヤともっと見ていたいよ、星を。
If she could stay, it would be so great. I'm sure that Saya and I felt the same
お
way.
父さんのこと大事にしなよ。
That's right. That's why you decided to go, isn't it? Still lying down, Hikari looked at me with a sulking face. What's with that face?
だって二人とも止めてくれないんだもん。冷たい。今の気温みたいに冷たい。
She spoke like a spoiled child. But Saya and I had reasons for not stopping her. Both my parents died in an accident and Saya's parents were divorced. She hadn't seen her father in many years.
光がついてきてくれないとお父さんすごく寂しがると思うよ。
Hikari's father was crazy about his two daughters. He had an especially soft spot for Hikari, the youngest. Hikari was always a daddy's girl. The reason she liked trades was because her father was a railway man.
離れてても ずっと友達だよ。さや。
Hikari, we won't forget you. Just as I said this in a cool voice, a meteor streaked right in front of our eyes.
ちょっと何今のタイミング。私が死んじゃったみたいじゃん。
Farewell, Hikari.
あなたの分も強く生きていくからね。もう二人ともバカバカ。せっかく人がしんみりといい話してんのに茶化さないでよ。
Sorry.
いつもふざけてるのに急に真面目な話するからなんか照れくさくて。もういいもん。ごめんねひかり。よしよし、いい子いい子。
Saya was petting Hikari's gloomy head. It was the opposite of what normally happened. The idea that we wouldn't be able to do this anymore made me
ね
sad.
え、次流星が流れたらみんなで何か願い事しようよ。どんな願い事？
Right. How about that we could all watch the quadrant dance here together again?
それいい。そうしよう。
We hadn't wished on a falling star since we were kids. We waited in stillness for the next star to fall.
今流れたよ。見た？見た。カペラのそばすごく明るかった。
It was brighter than Capella. Capella is the alpha star of Auriga. It's a first magnitude star and its name means little goat. To have been brighter than that, it must have been a pretty big meteor. Meteors are matter from space that crash into the Earth's atmosphere. They can be as small as grains of sand. However, the bigger they are, the more light they emit. They can sometimes be bright enough to light up the night sky like it was daytime.
そうだ、願い事しなきゃ。
Oh, well, how long have you been here, man? I just noticed that you typed a chat. Might be. I got like so into this game. I apologize if you were waiting here for a bit. But hey, man, what's up? Nice to see you here. This is a sky full of stars. Ooh. Surprised by the unexpectedly bright meteor, we quickly closed our eyes.
またこの場所で3人揃って流星群が見られますように。
With our eyelids closed, we all sincerely made our wish. That wish was our promise. We had vowed on that shooting star that we would meet here again. Yeah, two people in here, let's go. It was just before dawn. The sky had just begun to lighten from the south. The sky had been hidden by the mist for a time which had made us fall asleep. Bundled on the car, when we all woke up, we started preparing breakfast. We simmered some instant soup in a little pot, made an improvised zoni with the rice cakes I got from Saya. Happy New Year, man. Yeah, Happy New Year to you as well. It's not the New Year for me yet, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it is for you. So yeah, Happy New Year. Hope you have a great one, man.
いい匂い。
The rice cakes will take a little longer to cook. What do you want to do, Saya?
中で髪の毛直してる。
Oh, morning had come while we were watching the meteor shower, but I hadn't forgotten the real reason I was here. And to catch you up on things, because there is a lot that's happened so far, Hikari, the girl with red hair, is my childhood friend. Well, actually, both of them are my childhood friends. But Hikari was my first childhood friend. I had originally transferred into her class, and the day I met her, I helped her rescue this puppy, who later is named Kotaro, and still is with us to this day. It's owned by our old teacher, Miss Miharu, at... Oh, okay. That's not a problem. Either way, we were childhood friends, we were interested in astronomy, and yeah. Hikari, red hair, is going to be leaving the country really soon. And there's basically this dispute that happened over a letter in which we had thought it was a love letter from Hikari, but it was actually Saya's love letter. Thanks. It was Saya's love letter that she gave to Hikari to give to me because she was too shy. So now I have to try and apologize to Saya because we had thought it was from Hikari, who we were mad at, so we didn't go to the meetup spot. And so she waited there for me, who never showed up. Is essentially this. So what's going on now is Hikari's helping me to apologize to her. But yeah, rest well, man. Now was my chance. Hikari. Hikari put up her index finger wordlessly. She poked her head into the entrance of the car and spoke to Saya.
私ちょっと野の花を摘みに行ってくるね。
Can't you come up with a better excuse?
本当じゃないからね。じゃあね。グッドラック。
Hikari slapped me on the back and ran into the forest. At the same time, Saya came out. Her hair was set prettily.
何か手伝うことある？
Yeah, catch you later. Right, I'd be happy if you just talked to me.
いいよ。
Saya came and plopped down next to me on the ground. She took a peek into the simmering pot. She seemed as innocent as ever, and it made me a little nervous.
さすがに朝は冷えるね。
Yeah, being here this early reminds me of back then. Back when we made our planetary observation journal, we used to stay up until dawn and come here to observe the morning stars. But there was no sign of Venus this morning. At this time, Venus was following the sun, so the only time to see it would be dusk, a so-called evening star. I tried to figure the best timing as I kept the rice cakes from sticking to the pot with a spoon, although I couldn't quite seem to speak. Saya was looking at me as if to say, "You wanted to talk with me." Hey Saya. I owe you an apology. Saya tilted her head to the side with confusion. What I mean is, I was finding it difficult to put into words, so I pulled out the thing that had been hidden in my pocket and showed it to Saya. I sort of read this. Saya seemed shocked for a moment, but went quiet like she didn't know how to reply. Sorry. Still seated, I leaned toward
や
Saya.
っぱり、アキトくんが拾ってたんだ。
I thought Saya would be upset, but it seemed she already knew. That's why she had stayed away from the store so long.
でも、どうして謝るの？
I just read the letter when I found it, and I thought you might be annoyed to have a letter you wrote 4 years ago to be read only now. Saya looked troubled. Also, you waited a long time, didn't you, Saya? On that bridge.
待ってたよ。あっくんが来るの。
It's because I didn't read the letter when I got it, so I'm sorry.
でも、あっくんが謝ることじゃないよ。だって、自由だもん。もらった手紙を読まないのも、読んで、返事しないのも。
So aren't I free to apologize then?
そうだね。
I was surprised when I read it. I didn't think you felt that way about me. At the time, I didn't see her as a girl. It was all the more unexpected because she was my closest friend.
私、ずっと振られたんだって思ってた。あっくん、来なかったから。あっくんのこと、困らせちゃったって。
So that's why you avoided me after Hikari left. Saya nodded. I had thought my estrangement from Saya was because Hikari was gone, or because she was embarrassed to hang out with boys at that age. But Saya's reasons were completely different. It was extremely simple. She avoided me because she thought she'd been turned down. I'm really sorry. I apologized again. Saya was such an important friend, I can't believe I made her feel that way.
悪いのはちゃんと自分で渡せなかった私だし、アキトくんが謝ることじゃないよ。でも違ったんだね。振られたわけじゃなかったんだ。
You can't be angry at me, you know.
何を怒るの？
I don't know, like, you made me wait, or whatever. Or like, how could you bring that up now? It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense.
わかんないよ、怒り方なんて。
Yeah, you are a kind one, Saya. Puffing out her cheeks and glaring was the angriest Saya could ever look. Or you could hit me. Don't women slap men in the face at times like this?
されたいの？
Don't look at me like I'm a pervert. I was just speaking in hypotheticals.
わかった。する。
Saya said this like she was a little eager. She raised her right hand and gave a practice swing, but it didn't look powerful at all. Snap your wrist more.
こう？
101 with how to slap people. That one made a whooshing sound. It sounded like it had some power. Yeah, that's the way. The fact that I was the one getting smacked, but I was showing her how to do it harder, actually made me feel like some kind of weirdo. But I thought Saya would feel better if it had a good sound to it.
じゃあ、行くよ。
Yeah, bring it! Saya drew her hand way back. She brought her palm down with a snap. Waiting for the coming attack, I closed my eyes in response. The attack, however, was not what I expected. A soft and enveloping feeling. Feeling warmth on my lips, I opened my eyes. Saya's pretty face was right in front of me, and there was a warmth on my lips. My lips, nearly frozen from the cold morning air, felt like a warm softness was melting them. It took me a few seconds to realize it was Saya's lips. A sigh escaped from between our lips. I was frozen in place with surprise, and Saya's eyes opened right in front of mine. I gazed into Saya's jewel-like eyes from up close. So beautiful, I couldn't help but stare. I forgot what I was just doing, or even how I got into this situation in the first place. None of it mattered anymore. I just wanted to surrender myself to the heat in her lips and the beauty of her multicolored eyes as pure as springs.
たっだいまー。さやちゃん、そんなに怒っちゃダメだよ。アキトも反省してるみたいだし、ここは早乙女の豚まんでもおごってもらってさ、それできれいさっぱり。
I can explain.
あれ？
Saya, Hikari can see us. I wanted to cry out, but I couldn't with my lips covered. I couldn't even breathe. It had been our plan for Hikari to return about now. It might be awkward after I apologize. Come back after a little while.
わかったわ。
Best laid plans and all that. Our half plan wasn't ready for this unexpected situation. Hikari and I were just frozen. Saya parted her lips from mine and spoke in a quiet voice.
今も変わってない私の気持ちは。あの頃のままだよ。
Saya murmured. Then she turned her back on me and ran straight past Hikari. Saya! As I tried to chase after her, I tripped on my own feet and took a huge spill. My brain was totally overheated and I lost proper judgment. Hikari didn't chase Saya either. It was like she was just frozen to the spot. Still sprawled on the ground, I looked at the sky. All the stars that were there had disappeared at some point. The ground, cool from the morning air, felt nice on my burning head and body. Kotaro saw Hikari and stood up, wagging his tail. Hikari moved closer and started petting Kotaro.
よしよし小太郎。
As the night ended and the morning sun crested the horizon, the beautiful twilight sky was stained with mourning. It was as if a spell was broken. We had split the breakfast of improvised zoni and I'd come back down from the mountain. We barely spoke the entire time, because we were both intensely embarrassed. Hikari had caught Saya and I kissing, and for me, Hikari had seen me in that situation. I wonder if she got home okay alone. Thinking about it, I started getting worried. Hikari silently took out her smartphone and started tapping. It looked like she was sending a text. Listen, I'm sorry.
私の方こそ。
Our conversation didn't continue. I'm sure she was just as surprised as I was. Neither of us could find the words. Hikari's smartphone made a sound. Hikari looked at the screen and busily entered something. I watched for a while and Hikari turned the screen to me.
ちゃんと家帰れた？
帰れたよ。心配かけてごめん。
それより大丈夫。
わかんない。
一緒にいようか？
いい。一人にさせて。
わかった。
ごめんね。見送り行けなくて。あんなことしちゃって恥ずかしくて。アキトくんと顔合わせられない。私のバカバカバカ。
だって。
It looked like once I was alone again and having calmed down a little, she had started to feel embarrassed about it all.
でもよかったよ。さやの気持ちやっとアキトに伝わったし。
Still haven't changed. My feelings haven't changed one bit. Yeah. Without any confusion or doubt, that was how Saya confessed her feelings. The kiss, more clear than a love letter, demonstrated
あ
that.
とはアキト次第だね。
I spied a bit of color in Hikari's face as she said this. I'll think about it once I've settled down. It was so sudden, I couldn't think about anything. I could hear the train on the rails getting louder as it got closer. Hearing it, Hikari stopped petting Kotaro and stood up.
さてと行かなきゃ。
She said this in a crisp voice, but this would be the last time I'd see Hikari for a long time. Have fun.
アキトもね。
She made a fist and bumped my shoulder.
まあ1年くらいで戻ってくるし、スマホもネットもあるから、寂しくなったらいつでも声かけてよ。コマコさんに。
Coming back to herself a little, she joked around. Yeah, I'll do that. I guess first I'll ask for love advice. I was starting to feel myself again too. Hikari gave a strained smile.
そういうマジな相談も大歓迎だよ。何せ人生経験豊富な都会の OL だから、コマコさんは。
Yeah, I'm counting on that. We joked with each other and laughed to lighten the mood.
さやのことよろしくね。あの子は私の大切な親友だから、任せたら承知しないわよ。
I'll keep it in mind.
みんなにもよろしく。
Yeah.
小太郎、お前も元気でね。
Hikari waved to Kotaro and me, then ran to the ticket gate at the station. The train was already arriving at the station. I thought she was hurrying, but Hikari suddenly stopped.
あの約束忘れないでね。
Promise.
またこの場所で3人揃って。
流星群が見られますように。
Don't you forget either. Hikari smiled happily when I answered.
何があっても私たち3人ずっと一緒だからね。
Hikari gave one more big wave, then raced to the ticket gate. Is she gonna make it? Just in case, I watched the train leave. It seemed like Hikari made it, so I was relieved. Okay. It was about time for work. I opened the store, starting the day like always. I would get in touch with Saya later once things had cooled down a little. While I was still hurting from seeing Hikari off, I didn't think I could give a clear answer. A comet is coming in close. The Earth is in danger. That was all over the internet at the start of the year. A large comet was going to pass between the Earth and the Moon. One theory said that due to the comet, the Earth would change so much that it would bring humanity to the brink of destruction. People had started to panic, but in the end, everything had gone back to normal in a few days. Let's say, hypothetically, a comet did pass the Earth. If it actually grazed the Moon or the Earth, it would be a big problem. But if it just passed through empty space, then nothing extraordinary would happen at all. It was not the first time that a comet had caused people to panic. About 100 years ago, the famous Halley's Comet had swooped by somewhat close to Earth, causing people to panic. False rumors began to spread, such as when the Earth was to pass through the comet's tail, the air would become poisonous. As the rumor spread, people panicked and were doing things such as buying up bike tire tubes and the like. Since ancient times, comets such as Halley's are often called hokiboshi. They have been constantly thought of as ill omens. There are people who think that comets are similar meteors, and actually they are not so far off. Meteors are small celestial bodies that emit light when they fall into the atmosphere. However, comets are farther away and don't come into contact with the atmosphere. The way they emit light is different from meteors. There are other people who imagine that comets are like the parents of meteors simply because their names and looks are similar. But it wouldn't be so wrong to think of them like parents. Comets are loose piles of comet debris that give off gases while flying through space. Comets leave behind dust trails, and when those interact with the Earth, a certain astronomical phenomenon occurs, a meteor shower. A meteor shower is where the Earth passes through the dust left behind by a comet. As this dust enters the atmosphere, it appears as many shooting stars. We can see these beautiful meteor showers because of comets. For better or worse, comets sure make a ruckus. This year's end of the world prediction was just a farce, and anyone who was interested in astronomy would know that a comet like that doesn't exist. But there was another comet coming towards us. With all the data that we'd gathered, this hokiboshi wasn't exactly a bad omen. Though I wouldn't say that it wouldn't make a ruckus. Certainly an amateur astronomer like myself could predict that this comet would liven up our tranquil lives. When the bell rang at the end of the day, the school doors opened and the students started to leave like an avalanche. I left the classroom labeled 2-4 with my bag on my shoulder.
またな、空見。
Later! My classmates chatted with each other as they wandered off to their club activities. I headed off in a different direction. I was going to the astronomy club in the second school building. Yo, who this? No, I'm kidding. Hey yo!
こんにちは。
Hinami.
うっす。
I set my bag down and took a seat. Hinami stood up and prepared some tea after boiling water in the electric
ど
kettle.
うぞ部長。
Thank you, Hinami.
ああ、俺も。
どうぞ。コロナのお兄さん。
Ah, your Corona.
Thank you.
Takechi picked up the teacup he got from Hinami and took a sip while eating his melon bread. He was looking at his phone pretty seriously. Hey! Hinami returned to her seat and opened her magazine, Guide to Astronomy. Her name was Not Himada. Her name was Hinami Yamada. She had joined the astronomy club earlier this spring. I like her hair. In other words, she was younger than me. Okay.
失礼します。
Can I help you?
入部したいです。
Oh, I see. Huh?
ダメですか。それではさようなら。
Wait! Wait, come back! Come back! Hinami, come back! Well, welcome to the astronomy club. Man, that surprised me. I never thought that a first year would want to join the club. I found this out later, but Hinami was one of the guests that came to observe playing as Ichigo. She was Korona's classmate and was interested in the stars. After coming to the Stargazers meetup, she decided to join the astronomy club. It had been half a year since she joined, but...
太陽系のなんとは一生なることよ。
But I still didn't know what she was thinking. Well, she was interested in astronomy and our activities, but most of all, I was just glad that Night had helped her see the world of astronomy. That night, yeah, okay. I tried to imagine telling Orihime about it. And that's what happened. Thanks to you, there's finally a new club member. Orihime?
ごめんなさい。涙で文字が読めなくて。星はいつか熱を失い死を迎えるけれど、同時にこの宇宙には新しい星も生まれている。マイヤの輝きよ、永遠なれ。
We said our New Year's congratulations while opening an expensive-looking box of macaroons. But even though we had a new member, there were still only 2 of us, so we didn't have many activities that we could do. Normally, we would just get together in the club room, read books, look up stuff on the net, and record what we saw while stargazing. On top of that, I had to work, so there's only so much time that I could be here. That's why we relied heavily on the 6 Stars Club to do big activities. We did stargazing meetups together, lent each other equipment, and taught each other techniques. Yesterday, we borrowed a camera from Nishi High and tried to take photos of celestial bodies. Once someone younger joined the group, I finally understood what Orihime once told me. There was no mistaking the 6 Stars Club had been helping the neighborhood astronomy clubs liven up their activities.
やっぱこれって
Hey!
だよな。
Hey, you! Non-club member!
俺のことか。
I don't have to yell hey to Hinami. When I say that, it would be great if you realized that I'm always talking to you.
お、
After he replied, he went straight back to his phone. I took a deep breath, stood up, and went behind Takeichi. What are you looking at?
コメットガール。知ってるか？
Never heard of it. Is it some kind of idol band? Idols?
ある意味そうなりつつあるかもな。昨日ぐらいから話題になってんだけど、な、俺ってさ。
Takeichi started to show me some low-quality video on his phone. Right when I was about to look, my phone beeped, telling me that I had a message. With that, I turned to face Hinami. Hinami, are you ready?
ダークエネルギーを手中に収め、ゆくゆくはこの宇宙を。
Hello, Hinami! Come back to us!
はい、大丈夫です。
She blushed, realizing that I saw that her head was filled with terrible fantasies. I grew used to it, but at first I was a little scared to be alone in the same room with her. Take, we're going out for a bit.
どこ行くんだよ。
To the 6 Stars Club meeting. The 6 Stars Club would meet up once a month. By the way, Take, isn't the winter tournament coming up soon? Stop wasting your time here and go to practice.
やべ、もう始まる時間だわ。監督にどやされる。
Takeichi looked at his watch and put his phone in his pocket. He had joined the varsity team in his second year. It seemed he was the team ace. He'd been really working hard in practice ever since they got past regionals.
山田ちゃん、お茶ごちそうさん。
いえ、またいつでもどうぞ、コロナのお兄さん。
We left the room. Hinami, you don't need to give him any tea. If he's too comfortable, then he'll just stay.
うちの母が野良猫にするような扱いをすればいいんですね。ラジャーです。
Nice coat, by the way. And how does she treat stray cats? I was curious, but I decided not to ask. Actually, it would be more entertaining to see Takeichi ask her about it while it happened to him. We were talking as we left the building.
おやおや、あれは麗しのかゆい妻ちゃんではありませんか。嘘、どこどこ。ほんとだ、久しぶりじゃん。元気してた、かゆい妻ちゃん。あ、はい。またね、さよなら。
Saya finished greeting the student that she had never met before. Hey, Saya.
あきとくん、こんにちは、天の川先輩。
Hinami went stiff just looking at
こ
Saya.
んにちは、山田さん。
Bodied. It looked like Hinami was dizzy and lightheaded.
本日もお美しいです、天の川先輩。きっとあなたはアルビレオからやってきた白鳥のプリンセス。
Saya tilted her head, looking confused. Sorry about her.
ううん、いいよ。人前じゃなきゃ
Thanks for waiting. Shall we go? That message earlier was Saya telling me that she arrived. We were going to the meeting together.
行こう山田さん。きっとアルビレオは悪の銀河帝国に占領され、地球へ逃げ延びてきたプリンセスは身分を隠し、はい。
The three of us got on the bus and headed to the meeting place at Mako Academy. Saya could go there alone, but she's pretty shy with people, so we tended to go there a lot together. So what are your other club members doing?
漫画の締め切りがあるんだって。同人誌だったかな。
Oh. I nodded, but I didn't really get it. The girls in Seisan Astronomy Club, other than Saya, drew comics. Since their school had forbidden any club from being established, they had been using the astronomy club as cover to do their activities. But it wasn't like they weren't participating in any astronomy club activities. Those girls had come to play the Ichigo's first night event at the end of last year. They said that they were drawn to the beauty of stars and all the mythology, and they had liked how cool our homemade telescope was. When they saw play the Ichigo, they had been shouting, "Amazing! This is amazing, Saya!" Even I saw how excited they had been. That's why they kept going to the meetup and why the Six Stars Club's website had more art and a comic explaining what we did on it. From that night, our club had started to change, little by little.
何？
Saya asked Hinami, noticing that she kept stealing glances at her once we sat down.
天の川先輩は部長の通い妻なのですか？
I choked without thinking as I stood holding onto the strap. The other passengers around us started listening in to our conversation just by the mention of that one word. Hinami, about that.
そうだよ。
Hey, Saya!
なんて。嘘嘘。アキト君とはただの幼馴染。そうですか。
Hinami and the rest of the passengers around us had a mixed look of relief and disappointment on their faces. Well, that would surprise anybody. A beautiful young girl like her saying that she was married with a smile on her face. Please stop teasing people younger than you. Hinami would take it seriously.
ごめんなさい。
Saya just laughed like she didn't do anything bad at all. Jeez. As my heart was racing, I decided to just try and go along with her joke. Saya wasn't my wife. We weren't even dating. We were just friends. Really good friends. Just that. But Saya and I, and one other old friend, had a secret. About 1 year before, Saya had asked me out. So this is a 1 year time skip.
今も変わってない。私の気持ちはずっとあの頃のままだよ。
I've been seriously bothered by it ever since Saya told me how she felt that day. It was a normal reaction for a boy to feel lucky that a cute girl like Saya had asked him out. There was nothing to worry about. Anyone would have been happy to have her as a girlfriend, lucky in fact, like a gift from the heavens. But was it okay to date her for such a simplistic reason? I had been troubled by it, and Saya had sent me a message.
お話があります。明日、星のダムに来てください。
I had viewed the lake from the dam as I had waited for Saya. The last time Saya had called me down here was all the way back then, when the bridge had still been here. While I waited, I thought about that time 4 years ago and what it had been like. How would I have responded if I read that letter back then? I was really depressed back then. I was so angry because I had just got into a fight with Hikari and stopped being her friend, then she moved away before we could make up. No matter how I would have answered, I wasn't in the most cheery of moods. It had been 6 years since I met Saya. I thought we'd always be friends. I would see her as more than just a girl from time to time, but I just drove those emotions away. Developing feelings for a friend seemed like it was betraying the friendship. How do I put this? It might seem cool, but I guess we were just kids back then. I had more fun exploring the mountains and looking at the stars with both of them than I had figuring out any romantic interest. And that's why I thought that Saya and even Hikari didn't see me that way either. I didn't even think it was possible to begin with. It seemed like Hikari still didn't see me that way. But that was all a long time ago. I wasn't a kid anymore. I needed to give Saya a proper answer. What am I gonna do? Oh no, guys. It looks like this is going to be the last episode before this goes on hiatus. Swoosh! I can't complain about her looks. She had a good personality too. She was thoughtful and sensitive. Most importantly, instead of running from me like every other girl, she accepted me as I was. There really isn't anything for me to worry about, is how I should think, so why was I worrying so much? For an instant, I almost thought about someone else, but I drove those thoughts out of my mind. Why couldn't I just accept those feelings? Her triumphant look came to mind. I was probably just getting emotional because she had left. There's always a chance my feelings will change tomorrow. It would be bad if those feelings turned out to be love. I would just have to see how things turned out, but what would I tell Saya? I'll just tell her the truth. Whoa! I nearly jumped from the mention of my name. I cleared my throat and turned around. Hey, Saya.
ごめんなさい、遅れちゃって。お母さんに用事言いつけられて。
Nah, it's okay. I just got here myself. I had arrived 30 minutes before, but deep in my thoughts, I had lost track of time. Saya,
待って。
Saya quickly stopped me when I got the courage to start talking.
先に言わせてほしいの。
She pleaded, looking up at me, so I shut my mouth. Saya went quiet and took a few deep breaths, then suddenly her breathing increased. After her breathing calmed down again, Saya had a hint of determination in her eye as she talked.
この間のこと謝りたいの。ごめんなさい。
Before, what was she talking about?
急にあんなことしちゃって。
Was she talking about the kiss?
光から封がされたままの手紙を渡されたとき、私まだ振られてなかったんだって分かったから、まだ可能性あるのって分かってるよ。あるって言ってもほとんどないのと同じくらいだってことは。でも全くないのとほんのちょっぴりでもあるのとは違うから。
Saya was looking down, flushed red for being so embarrassed. And because of...
ほんのちょっぴりのせいで気持ちの制御ができなくなっちゃったの。
pissed me. Saya was beet red, but so was I, probably. I've never been so embarrassed in my life that just thinking about it makes me lightheaded.
でもね、違うの。あれはね、そういうんじゃないの。
Wasn't like that. Are you saying that you don't like me? Saya feverishly shook her head.
気持ちを伝えたかっただけ。私の気持ち、悪に知っててほしかった。
Well, you did, and unlike 4 years ago, I accept it. Hearing what I said, Saya looked up with a sense of relief. That's why I want to give you a real answer now. So I wouldn't seem careless, I straightened myself up and Saya just shook her head.
だから、もういいの。
Okay.
それで十分だから。気持ち、ちゃんと伝えられただけで たいに接してほしい。
What are you talking about? I can't do that. I already knew how she felt. Don't hold back, Saya. Saya always held herself back to do what Hikari and I wanted. I didn't want her to wait or hold back
我
anymore.
慢じゃないよ。ダメなんかじゃない。だって好きだって気持ちがちゃんと伝わったなら、それだけでもう十分すぎるくらい幸せなんだもん。知っててもらえるだけでいいんだもん。
Saya,
それにあんたは優しいから、こんな私のこと面と向かって振るなんてできないでしょ。
nothing came out after hearing that. She really did know me.
今あっくんに OK って言ってもらえても、私素直に喜べないよ。
I guess she thought that I was just unable to turn her down. If I agreed to go out with her, no matter what my true feelings were, she would always be in doubt. She thought that I would say it out of pity.
それに今はダメだよ。
Right now.
だって今はがいないもん。私また抜け駆けすることになっちゃうよ。
Saya buried her face in tears, mumbling something that I couldn't hear. Then she became quiet. So I'm not allowed to say how I feel? Saya just shook her head.
付き合うって言われても信じられないし、振られるのはもっと嫌だ。
What an honest person. Isn't that a little unfair? I get to know your feelings, but you don't get to know mine. She turned away in frustration. I guess she didn't see it as unfair. Alright, fine. I sighed. Thinking about how Saya had held on to those feelings for 4 years, I thought it was only a natural punishment for me to agonize over mine for a while. Alright, we'll go back to how it always was. Is that okay? I subtly implied. I didn't really think that was going to be easy.
そうして。
I took one step closer to Saya and abruptly reached out my hand. And Saya took one step back in shock. Don't start running away from me. You wanted me to be normal, right? Or are we going to act differently now? I tried to jokingly scare her.
やだ。
Huh? Saya started to tear up and put her head on my chest. I just stroked her hair. Good girl, good girl.
照れるよ。
Endure. It's embarrassing for me too. We kept this up for a while and then I let Saya go. Saya looked like she just got out of a sauna. Her face was red and she sighed deeply. Do you really think you could keep going on like nothing happened? She kept turning back and forth. It was like she couldn't make up her mind.
あっくんは
Hey now, don't stop.
もしだよ、他に好きな人ができたり、
You mean like Hikari?
もういたりするなら、
What? As she paused there, she looked up at me. It was like she was asking if there was somebody.
私のこと気にせず付き合ってくれていいからね。それが今まで通りってことだから。
I frowned down at her.
なんでそんな顔するの？
It's nothing. Even though she had asked me out, it felt more like I was being dumped. Fine then. Only if there is a girl that likes me.
いるよ。アキトくんかっこいいもん。すぐにいい人見つかるよ。
Yep. Somehow it really did feel like a breakup.
何するの？
Just practicing how to be normal. I said bluntly, walking forward.
待ってよ、アキトくん。
Saya followed me as she fixed her twisted and mangled hair. And that's what had happened. That had been about 10 months before. After that, it wasn't like we could just go back to normal, even though we had been friends for a long time. Every time I thought about it, I just felt awkward. But slowly, I got used to it, and over time, things were getting back to normal. Right now, at first glance, we were just friends. Since then, Saya had never outwardly shown me how she had felt for nearly a year. It was getting to the point where I was beginning to doubt how she felt about me now. That was a risky joke.
どうかした？
Nothing. By the way, did you hear anything from Hikari? Saya shook her head.
メッセージを送ってもずっと未読のままになってる。
Me too. I wonder what happened to her. Hikari was overseas. We hadn't seen each other the entire time, but we were still keeping in contact over the net. We'd send messages, chat on the phone, and talk in the Six Stars Club group chat as well. But a few days earlier, we'd lost contact. The internet over there wasn't so good, so we would lose a connection sometimes, but this was the longest that we'd gone without talking.
何かあったのかな？
I was worried too, but we had no other way of getting in touch with her. Let's find out her family's contact info. Maybe if we asked Noriko, she would be able to tell us.
そうだね。
As we were talking, the bus arrived at our stop. We stopped right in front of the door labeled Astronomy Club. We knocked and waited for a moment.
Hi!
The door opened from the inside and I entered the room. Excuse us.
こんにちは、スラミくん。い
Thank you, Honika.
らっしゃい、アキニ
Oh hey, you decided to go to this school. Good girl, Corona. Corona came with Honika to greet us. Hey Corona, you seem good.
元気だよ。さやさん、山田さんもご足労ありがとうございます。お邪魔します。失礼します。ひなみん、いらっしゃい。
Yeah, look at him.
天の川先輩も一応いらっしゃい。
Corona headed that with a hint of dissatisfaction. Corona had come a long way. At least now she was capable of saying hello to Saya.
こんにちは、コロナちゃん。ふんと。ひなみん、元気だった？まずまず。コロナはあんまり元気そうじゃないね。なんでわかるの？から元気なのは顔に出て。あははは。周りがお嬢様ばっかりでさ、庶民の子が来るような学校じゃないんだよ。また言っているのですか。いい加減慣れたらどうです？だって。
Good old Corona. I'll definitely be peeking into Corona's route on my own time. It seemed like Corona was suffering too. Well, you look good in your school uniform. Hey look, our eyes are starting!
コロナもそう思ってるんだ。やっぱ元が可愛いと何でも似合っちゃうのかななんて。
Corona wiggled into a pose and looked my way. I avoided her gaze. She had just entered Meiko Academy this year. This was the road that she had chosen, but I'm sure that joining the Six Stars Club and meeting Orihime and Honika had something to do with it. She had joined the astronomy club right after she had entered the school and had been doing activities with Honika.
いいなあ、ひなみんはアキ兄と一緒に部活できて。うん、楽しい。特に昼間、太陽黒点の観測をしている時が。黒点なんか見たってつまんないじゃん。地味だし全然綺麗じゃないし。黒点がある日突然巨大化して地上にとてつもない磁気嵐が吹き荒れる様を想像してみて。ね。いや、ねって言われても。そんな大異変の兆候が今日にも現れるかもしれない。そう思うとほらドキドキするでしょ。 やっぱひなみん変わってるね。
They might be completely different, but they did get along well. Where's everybody else?
もう来るはずです。どうぞくつろいでいってください。コロナお茶入れてくるね。私も手伝う。
And the first years went off to make tea. Then we waited for other schools to show up.
それでは第11回むつらぼし定例会を始めたいと思います。
That's how the current president Tonika started the meeting. There were 5 different schools gathered in Meiko Academy's astronomy room.
では各校の活動状況の報告をお願いします。まずは西高さんから。
はい。
Toyota, who this dude? Toyota, Nishihai's current president, stood up. He was a pretty quiet-looking boy.
うちは先週遠出して富士山をバックに成形写真を撮影してきました。天体ガイドに投稿したので、もしかしたら来月号に載るかもです。
Toyota looked proud of himself when everybody seemed amazed. For the most part, Nishihai's focus on gadgets had been because of his focus on taking photos of celestial bodies.
それでは諸見沢工業さんどうぞ。
うっす。俺らは秋の星座の観望と星座神話をモチーフにしたポエム作りをやってました。
Dear God, this dude. So holy crap. I like how there's like this little faint of purple in his hair there. Or is that the background? That actually might be the background. I don't know. If it's his hair, it's a nice little touch. If not, I don't mind either way. Oh, alright. Kawa Nakajima, the president of Monomisawa Astronomy Club, sounded tough, but if you listen to what he was talking about, he did seem a little rough.
秋の夜空といえば星座っす。エチオピア王家の物語を星空に描き思いを馳せるのは俺らモロコ天文部の最も楽しみにしてることっす。
But his topics were just so girly.
いつも素敵なポエムの投稿をありがとうございます。むつらぼしブログの読者から今月も感想をいただきました。
恐縮っす。
They posted their poems on the blog every month, and a few of their fans had left their impressions. I was fairly certain that those fans thought that it was girls who were writing the poems, though. It was a tradition for Monomisawa to observe the constellations and do something romantic about
で
them.
は聖戦女子さん。はい。
Saya stood up.
私たち聖戦女子天文部は諸見沢工業天文部の皆さんから送っていただいた神話ポエムにイラスト。
あざーっす。
Oh God. That was an accident. Kawa Nakajima stood up, yelled and bowed suddenly, scaring Saya.
あと私も時々星の第一天文部の皆さんと天体観測をしていました。以上です。いつも素敵なイラストをありがとうございます。と部員の方々にお伝えください。おかげでサイトが華やぎます。
The Seisei Girls Astronomy Club designed the Six Stars Club mascot and drew illustrations of it.
では星野大一さん。
Okay. We've been observing sunspots during the day and have gone looking at the stars every now and then. Sunspots are observed during the daytime, so it was something easy for students to do. I didn't know how to reply to Corona's dissatisfaction with them, but once he started it, it was quite addictive. Besides, you could use those daytime techniques to look at Venus or Mercury. It definitely was something an astronomy club should do. And anyway, it was a good chance to let Hinami do some astronomical activities.
それでは最後に私たち明光学院天文部ですが、先月同様惑星観測を継続してやっています。
After Meiko Academy's report, we were all done. Noriko had retired in the summer, and since they didn't have any new people, Amahai's astronomy club was suspended due to no active members. Nishihai's Narue and Monomisawa's Keisuke had also retired, but those two schools had younger members to take over their clubs. Everybody was seriously short on members and were barely doing any activities now. After each school had reported in, it was time for the Six Stars Club report.
すでに資料はお送りしていたと思います。
Everyone took out their phones or tablets and pulled up the documents that Honika sent. It contained all of the Six Stars Club's achievements and blog traffic information for the last month.
アクセス数だいぶ減っちゃったね。
目立った活動がないですからね。
When we had posted the manufacturing journal of Played as Ichigo, something curious had happened. We kept getting more views. After that, we reached our peak with the first light article, then started losing views. Now we were getting less than half the hits of our peak.
今のままじゃアピールが足りないっす。何かでかいことをやらないと。
Like Hikari to come back. It was just as Toyota and Kawanakajima said, we hadn't done anything big with the Six Stars Club recently. Just holding some stargazing events every now and then wasn't too appealing to outsiders. I guess the group was starting to get a little dull. Reading the room, Honika started to speak.
やはりそろそろ動かしたいですね。例の計画を。
Project Starlight. I cautiously said the name.
天文に注目が集まってる今がチャンスだよ。
Everyone nodded at Corona's comment. There had been a bit of boom for astronomy this year, all because a certain astronomical event was predicted to happen. Not the usual stuff like passing comets, something more well-founded. The Six Stars Club would be able to rise this boom, and we would show everyone just how fun astronomy really was.
もう1ヶ月ほどしか時間がありません。ここは動くべきかと。
Yeah. Saya looked at me with worry as I looked troubled. I wanted to go ahead with this plan, however, there was a reason why I was hesitant. The ever so vital project leader was currently missing.
もうやっちゃおうよ。
そうっす。リーダーが帰ってくるのを待ってたら間に合わなくなるっす。
やるならなるべく派手めでお願いします。その方が来年の部員集めが楽になるので。
Nishi High didn't have a single new member this year, so their numbers had dropped by 3. Let's start with whoever is actually here.
そういえばここ数日ひかりさんと連絡が取れないのですが、何かご存知ではないですか？
Saya and I looked at each other. We don't know either.
メッセージを送ってもずっと未読のままで、何かあったんでしょうか？
About that, we have a favor to ask. Could you get in touch with Noriko? We think that Noriko knows how to contact her family. Noriko had been in the same school as Hikari, so it shouldn't be too hard to ask teachers or classmates how to contact Hikari's family.
わかりました。聞いてみます。
Project Starlight was a plan to promote astronomy across the entire city. The person, no, the star who came up with the plan was currently not with us. Hikari Hokiboshi of Electra. We had been waiting for her to return before acting on our plans, but as Honika said, we haven't heard from Hikari in a few days.
お、やったね、かっこいいでしょ？
The meeting had been going on for a while, so Hinami and a Nishi High girl had become bored and were fooling around on their phones.
そこの1年生、何をしているんですか？会議中ですよ。すいません。
何見てたの？
あのね、草壁さん、コメットガールって知らない？
コメットガール？知らない。コンソメ味っぽいね。お菓子？
コメット、彗星？昨日くらいからネットで話題になってるんです。先輩たちも見てみてくださいよ。
Oh yeah, Takeichi had been talking about that right before we left. Well, just like passing comets, something will go viral, but the net will quickly move on to something else.
見せて。
コロナさん。
Honika's angry warning stopped Corona in her tracks. Let's save that for after the meeting, Hinami.
ごめんなさい。すいません。
Now, this comet girl, you know that has to be something of a really big deal because even Takeichi, who's not really known for being that into astronomy, Like it even got his attention. So I'm definitely curious about this now. We talked about the latest astronomical news, complained about our budgets and how nobody recognized us. It became a pretty boring meeting. Everybody's struggling.
そうだね。
西高は今年も新入部員入ったし、ひとまず安泰って感じだよな。
神野先輩から来年は絶対2人以上新入部員を獲得しろって言命されてるから辛いよ。
Toyota was rubbing his chest.
うちもコロナさんが入ってくれましたが、来年のことを思うと不安になります。
Even the members who only show up for the astronomical shows had retired. Right now, there was only Honoka and Corona in Meiko's club. Well, after Hinami joined my club, I'm finally starting to understand what Orihime was telling me about. I needed to find a way to help the club survive for Hinami. I almost painfully understood the president's, the one before me, predicament when he allowed me to join, even though I wouldn't look at the stars. I was finally starting to care about the club, similar to Nishihai and Morimisawa, who actually did regular club activities. But still, if there was no new members, the club would disband and the few clubs with members left over would be limited to what they could do. The Six Stars Club had been a lifesaver. It went beyond one school and gathered people one place where we could do real astronomy. Because of that, we could be more confident when inviting new members.
みんなのためにも早く始めたいね。プロジェクトスターライト。
Me too.
何やってんのさピカリンは。
Honoka looked at the clock on the wall.
だいぶ時間を使ってしまいましたね。そろそろ出ましょうか。
The sun's going to set if we don't get a move on. Everybody started leaving the astronomy room according to each club president's orders. Outside, the clear autumn sky stretched far and wide. The forest said it'd be a moonless night with no chance of rain until morning, and tomorrow was Saturday, so we didn't have to go to school. We couldn't pass up on such a perfect opportunity for stargazing. Today's Six Stars Club meeting was the first observation meetup we'd had in a while.
ちょっと休ませてください。
That was Toyota from Nishihai after reaching the top of the slope.
情けねえぞトヨタ。女子を見習え。
休んでる暇はありませんよ。日が沈む前に準備してしまわないと。
Winter was coming, and the days were getting shorter. The plane to Ichigo had to be ready for observation before it got dark. Come on, let's go. We're nearly there. I was short of breath too, but I took the lead and started
行く
walking.
ぞトヨタ。ほら、肩貸してやっから。
分かったから引っ張らないでくれよ。
We climbed a bit further and entered the forest. The plane as Ichigo was being kept in the old train car that served as our storeroom. It was only light compared to retail telescopes, and the mirror box containing the primary mirror was especially heavy. Since we couldn't move it by car, I wanted to keep it as close to the observation area as possible. Hey Saya. After we entered the forest, Saya held on tight to my arm as she walked, but her eyes were glued to her phone the whole time. You'll fall over if you keep looking at that. Told you so. I caught her just as she was about to fall.
ごめんなさい。
What are you looking at so intently?
これとか、しーちゃんがアドレス送ってきたから見てたんだけど。
She was one of Saya's friends at school. That story's really making the rounds, huh? Is it that interesting? Intrigued, I sneaked a look at Saya's phone.
これって。
Skimming the article from an angle, I learned that Comic Girl was a student apparently. This mysterious girl had swiftly appeared to save a trembling kitten trapped on the road and then swiftly vanished. Someone had uploaded a partial video of the event and that's how the story had spread. No one knows who she is, but the name Comic Girl has stuck thanks to the impact of her kitten rescue, as well as her twin ponytails. I played the video embedded in the article. There was a kitten trembling in the middle of a 4-lane road, cars zooming past it on both sides. It wasn't clear how it had gotten there. The person filming the video had come across the kitten and sounded very agitated. Even though it was afraid of cars, the kitten looked like it was about to make a dash for it at any moment. Just watching it made me flustered too. Damn it, someone go save it already. Just then, something suddenly entered the frame. Someone, rather. A girl, but she ran with amazing speed. Weaving through the tiny gaps between cars, she picked up the trembling kitten while running. Alright! I realized my fists were clenched. With her twin ponytails trailing behind her, the girl ran across the road and disappeared. It was a dramatic video, from the initial anxiety to the girl's sudden appearance, and the word swift definitely captured that impact. No wonder it was spreading online. However, I was watching this video for the first time, but somehow I got a sense of deja vu. That girl. The way she ran straight toward her target, that familiar Amaha uniform, and those long twin ponytails. It was a low-quality video, but despite the blurred images, I knew who she was. That's Hikari, right? What the heck was going on? Saya spoke in a whisper, as if she still didn't believe it. But the girl in the video was Hikari, no doubt about it, which meant the identity of the online sensation dubbed Comic Girl was in fact Hikari. It's been a while since we saw her.
何をしているんですか? 早く行きますよ.
I suddenly realized that we had fallen far behind the rest of the group. Okay, got it. We raced to catch up with everyone.
光のやることだから.
Yeah, that's Hikari for you. It was amazing how that one comment of Saya's made sense of the whole crazy situation. Such things were possible when it came to Hikari. According to everyone, people had only started talking about Comic Girl yesterday. Also, that article was written yesterday and it said the video had been taken that morning. Hold on. Something wasn't right. That can't possibly be her over there.
誰がいますよ!
Toyota reached the platform first and he sounded like he'd seen a ghost or something. Everyone turned to follow his gaze. There was someone there. A girl in uniform was sitting on the roof of the train car. If it had been dark out, you probably could have mistaken her for a ghost. Hinami looked at the girl and shouted out loud.
コメントがある! 本当だ! コメントがあるだ!
Both of them had been online during the meeting. You could hear the amazement in their voices. Yes, everything was the same as the video. She wore an Amaha uniform and her long twin ponytails danced in the wind.
そうなの? でもあれって...
She must have heard us talking because Comic Girl turned around to face us.
おーそーい! 待ちくたびれちゃったじゃん!
What are you doing here? Hikari! Looking at our surprised faces, Hikari smiled smugly and stood up. For her next comment, she faced us fully. As usual, no one knew what the bingo was for, but that smug look and the peace sign were unmistakably Hikari's. Without a word, Hikari got off the train car roof and landed lightly on the platform. At the same time... Taga!
その呼び方をするんじゃない。やっぱりカリンが。
Noticing Saya's gaze, Hikari smiled broadly.
会いたかったよー、さ
Surviving Hikari's glob somehow, Saya looked so happy she almost
よ
cried.
ーしよしよしよし、いい子いい子。私コタちゃんじゃないんだよ。
Hikari.
来た。
Hikari disentangled herself from Saya and turned to face me. Seeing each other after a year brought up all kinds of thoughts, but our feelings couldn't catch up. Welcome
申
back.
し訳ないですが、そういうのは後にしてください。
Honoka interrupted me before I could finish. Hey, hold
も
on.
う日が暮れます。
Honoka pointed her index finger at the
さあ
sky.
皆さん、プレアデス1号を運び出すのを手伝ってください。
As Honoka gave her instructions, we remembered our assigned tasks and started work.
待って待って、吉岡ちゃん。何ですか？5分。あ、いや、3分でいいから時間ちょうだい。だって1年ぶりの再会なんだよ。私そのために寒い中ここでずっと待ってたんだよ。天体の運行は人の都合になど構ってくれません。ひかりさんもよくご存知でしょう。さあ急ぎましょう。
はーい。
よしやるか。
コメットガール、ひどいよ。あんまりだよ。吉岡ちゃんって前からそういうとこあったよね。ひかりさんも元気が有り余っているようなので、どうぞ手伝ってください。さあやー。よしよし、続きは準備ができてからやろうね。
And so, the emotional reunion was postponed, so we got ready for the observation. Welcome back, Hikari.
ただいま。アキト、無言で見つめ合う幼なじみの二人。およそ1年ぶりの再会、その胸に巨来する思いとは。
Gosh darn it, Corona. I'll go down your route later!
光、今だよ。泣きながらアキトくんの胸に飛び込んで。できるかー。そんな気分、もうすっかり慣れちゃったわよ。
Hikari's objection was reasonable. After all, we had just brought the plane of Ichigo here, assembled it, and adjusted the optical axis. There wasn't much time, so we had all worked silently. We managed to get everything ready before sunset, but the shock and nostalgia of seeing Hikari again had vanished completely.
では普通に紹介しましょうか。と言っても、もう皆さんご存知だとは思いますが。コメットガール。ねえ、さっきからそれ何？光、知らないの？ネットで話題になってるんだけど。コンソメ味のポテチ？新製品かな？早乙女に売ってる？
She really doesn't know about it. Seeing that everyone was looking at her in confusion, Hikari cocked her head to one side.
ではなく、この方がむつら星の最後の一世。
Honoka gestured for Hikari to step forward.
天高天文部、ここに復活。エレクトラのほうき星光です。みんなよろしくね。
Those who had worked with Hikari since last year clapped and welcomed her back. The younger students didn't know her personally, or had only heard of her through the Six Stars Club group chats.
ほうき星先輩ってこんな人だったんだ。コメットガール先輩。
Hikari knew about the first years too, and went about putting the names from group chat to faces.
あなたが山田ひなみさんね。アキトんとこの後輩の。こんばんは、ほうき星先輩。
Worried by Hikari's proximity and almost oppressed by her bosom, Hikari took a half step back.
よろしくね。ほうき星先輩、素敵な人だね。
Hikari heard what the first years were saying about her. She was overjoyed. Anyway, why didn't you reply to our messages?
そうだよ、メッセージ未読のままだし心配してたんだよ。
あーごめん、スマホを踏んづけて割っちゃって。連絡先から何から全部スマホの中でしょ。こっちから連絡取りようがなくてさ、直接会えばいいかと思って早乙女行ったら先生が店番してて、今日ムツラボシの観測会だって言うから。
So that's why she'd been waiting up
い
here.
つの間に日本に帰ってきたの？
おととい、昨日から学校行ってるの。
She showed off her Aba-Tai uniform rather proudly. Even through the thick fabric, her chest was visible. It seemed like she had gotten bigger too. Saya was also just looking at them jealously, or perhaps that was just my imagination.
やっぱ日本はいいね。街は綺麗だし、お米美味しいし、そこらにコンビニあるし、テレビが日本語だし、お母さんの料理美味しいし。
Didn't you say you'd be gone a bit longer?
でもほら、早く始めたいじゃん、例の計画。
When Hikari said that, everyone looked at one another expectantly.
ことはいよいよ始めちゃうんだ。
Of course. Honoka looked at Saya and me, as if seeking confirmation, and then at Hikari.
何？なんかまずいことでもあったの？
Not exactly. We couldn't contact you, so we couldn't start the project. That's all.
つまり、もう準備は OK と。
光の号令待ちだよ。
Hikari smiled brightly.
じゃあ、行っちゃおうか。
With wide grins on our faces, we all nodded.
お願いしますね、プロジェクトリーダー。
One of these is not like the other. No, I'm kidding. Also, if you didn't get it, it means that Honoka is actually not an option for an ending in this game.
頼りにしてるよ、光。
コロナもピカリンについてくよ。
Let's go, Karuna.
よーし、プロジェクトスターライトの開始をここに宣言しちゃうよ。
With everyone relying on her, Hikari was in high spirits. But we knew we could rely on her because that's who Hikari was. There was a special gravity about
みん
her.
なやるよ、明るい夜のために。
明るい夜のために。
夜のために。That was a hell of a scream, but unfortunately, I am out of time. And the other unfortunate news is that based on the progression of this game, I did say how it would go once 9 o'clock hit. And unfortunately, and it does also break my own heart to have to do this, but I will be putting the game on hiatus from this point until the point in which I'm able to stream an ending. I don't want to stream an ending if Moe Novel does not want any of their endings to be streamed yet. Again, the game technically still came out this month, even though by January 15th it'll have been a whole month. But I don't want to, again, stream a game and one of its endings when I know they're not okay with it. So, this game and my playthrough of it will be put on hiatus, and perhaps maybe in the future, once I revive this series again, once I get in contact with Moe Novel themselves and get the okay to stream an ending, then I can return to this game, maybe do an episode of 2, or even just a really, really lengthy episode of the Hikari ending, which I'm pretty sure I'm already set on track for. On that note, I do want to talk a bit about my decision, because it is a very unique one for sure. And as you all know, I was super unsure of which route to go down. over time. Like, before the game came out, I was going mostly on appearance, and I was like, yo, like, Corona will definitely be the route that I go down, like, for sure, like, free. And then, Hikari started to show herself as, like, you know, really, really awesome and lovable character, particularly during the childhood days. So I was starting to be swayed by that, and then of course there's Saya's adorableness, and in the end, my choice to go for Hikari's route was more than, well, like, it's not because she's actually my favorite. As a matter of fact, I think I personally, myself, Kyo, I actually do like Saya more than Hikari, but my choice to go for Hikari was because I felt like that would be something more that Akito would have done in that situation. Not necessarily Kyo, but Akito, where I really do feel like Akito really does see Saya as really, really cute, but I feel like more of his actual feelings would naturally be more centered on Hikari, who he's gone through way more stuff with, including some really bad stuff, you know, the drama. And I guess another thing that really influenced me was just getting to know the characters enough, because Hikari, she was actually the first character who Akito fully opened up to, you know, just spilled everything out to. Like, this was early as like towards the end of the first episode. Like, that moment that legit almost made me cry was that powerful of a moment, in my opinion, because it really demonstrated, I guess, the basis of their relationship, such as, oh, these are definitely people who don't who have fully opened up to each other. Like, again, but prior to that, Akito was this completely closed off to literally everyone, and Hikari had breached and broken that. So I just kind of feel like this would be one of the best things to kind of do on stream, which I know is contradictory to the way I went about If My Heart Had Wings, because in that game, I really did feel like Amane was the quote-unquote canon girl. But for one, I actually could not go down Amane's route, like, literally at all, because the game locks you out of it on your first playthrough. But the other thing was that I took an intense interest in Ageha, and that honestly did not happen in this game with any of the characters. Like, sure, Saya's really, really cute, and I love her heterochromia eyes, because she's just, like, an adorable character overall. And Corona's still my favorite in terms of just physical appearance and looks. But I don't know, like, I thought about it a bit, and I wanted the stream to be more memorable overall. So, you know, I wanted it to be more than just, oh, here's Kyo just fully pursuing his favorite girl, which might be Corona at this point. I mean, she's definitely been really, really cute, and I am really interested for sure in checking out her route on my own time, but yeah, I feel like maybe a bit more of a step towards a different direction that I'm trying to work out for this game and see which one works out for me better. But I definitely feel like streaming Hikari's route would be best for the streaming experience, because the other routes I'll likely just end up doing on my own time. And you know, one of the things that I was afraid of is, oh, what if, for example, Corona's route doesn't end off as satisfied, like it doesn't have the same impact, because of course the two main girls are Hikari and Saya. So what if pursuing Corona just doesn't really, like, end the game off on like a really powerful or like really nice note? Like this game, since I really do enjoy it so much, I want the overall experience to be something memorable, not just, oh, like this is a fun game that Kyo played and he got this ending, which I guess was pretty cool, but nothing too amazing or no real impact. And I wanted to make sure that the first ending I get, at least for the stream, should be something more impactful. And I know 100%, like 150%, that Hikari's route would be able to do just this. So it was honestly a mixture of things, which is why I made the decisions at the time. Like, honestly, very, very quickly, like just boom, boom, boom. Like, it didn't really seem like I put much thought into it, but that's because my mind was putting together the pieces as it was happening. So, oh, how should I respond to Saya? Like, Saya's the one, or there might be someone else. And I picked the option that there might be someone else, mostly because, again, it was a mix of everything I just explained, and to summarize, it was because I more felt like Hikari would be the person that Akito would end up going with, and for 2, because Hikari's character has really grown on me. I love pretty much all of these characters. Now, granted, Orihime is just kind of on the back burner because, for all intents and purposes, she's just disappeared from the story. Like, Corona is still relevant. She joined Mako. Hikari's back after a year, and Orihime just seems to have vanished. Either way, next stream, I'll be returning to Reciteer. I might do a bit more of closers, or I might actually end up streaming a bit of Asu to see how that goes. That was actually requested by someone that was active last stream, aka Aaron. So hopefully he can stop by and watch me play a bit of Asu before I switch over to Reciteer. Anyway, that's the current plan for next stream, which will not be tomorrow. It may either be Tuesday or Wednesday, and remember that if you want to catch any of my streams at all, follow my Twitter. It's literally over there at Ichikyo_, or you could scroll on down to the panels below. One of them will link you to my Discord server. It's a public Discord server. Anyone is free to join. You can talk to me directly via Discord. I'm very, very chill. So, again, like, really don't hesitate to get in contact with me. Even if you're, let's say, watching this on YouTube randomly, don't feel bad about, typing up a comment or, sending me over a message or whatever. Like, I'm super chill, so... And I'm definitely still hoping to expand more and more on this following. I've been getting new people, but it's been really, really slow. But what can I expect from a person that wants to stream visual novels? Like, these games aren't that popular at all, and not too well received because of the nature of how they are. Either way, that will wrap it up for this game. And this game will be being put on hiatus until the day... Again, I'll ask Moe Novel, I'll get in contact with them, reach out, see when they will be more likely to allow me to stream an ending. And then I'll pick up this game again and fully stream an ending. In the meantime, I do have other visual novels to... start up in its place. I might do a bit of a poll on Twitter, so if you're interested in contributing to that, again, it's over there. And yeah, hopefully by then I'll have a new visual novel to chuck through, and for sure I should be able to stream an ending. So, yeah, I'll be returning to this in the pretty distant future, as well as the fact that I will continue to keep this Let's Play blind, which means, no, I will not turn on this game again and go through Corona's route on my own. The only time I'll ever do Corona's route is when I finish streaming Hikari's route. So, for example, I won't know how this Project Starlight is going to go or anything. I want to keep all that a surprise so that when I stream it myself, it could be an experience for me as well. You know? Either way, thanks to everyone who stopped by. I know there were like 2 people here earlier, including Erin, and I greatly do appreciate so very much the support and just the fact that you've even come by to chill again. That's really, really great for me. It keeps me motivated to keep this whole thing up. And yeah, I'll be seeing how my other visual novels go. Perhaps I'll be returning with a title from, what was it, Key? I think I even saw Key in this one, though. But one of, I guess, the bigger titles, so, or by bigger I mean more well-known, e.g., most likely Clanad is a really good choice, or Little Busters, which both have full anime adaptations. And so yeah, that should definitely be very interesting. This game almost made me cry. I'm not sure if it still will at this rate, but if not, I know Clanad for sure will destroy me. But that's for the future, and future Kyo to worry about. So I'll end this off now that I've explained my choices for this episode and my choices for the rest of this playthrough and my plans for the future, my next stream, etc. This is the absolute place where I'll end it off. So thanks everyone again for stopping by and watching. Hope you're really enjoying this one. I know it'll be a bit difficult for some people to really want to see an ending for this, but I'll catch you all in my next stream, which again should either be closer, like any conglomeration of closers, Asu, and Reciteer. Now, one of those will most likely not be there. So if I choose to stream closers, then Asu won't be around. And if I choose to stream Asu, then closers won't be around. But the one that will definitely be around is Reciteer. So definitely do look forward to that for sure. And that should be either Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll have to see which one works better for me. And that'll be where I end everything off. So take care, everyone. Have a happy new year. That's another thing I wanted to touch on. The new year is coming right up, so by my next stream, it will be my first stream of 2018. So I'm looking to keep this ball rolling for this next year. Hopefully I'll have even more followers as time goes on. And I'll just see how things continue to go for me. So, all that being said, take care everyone. And I'll... Ooh! Gosh. I didn't mean to do that. I clicked through a dialogue. Either way. Yeah, take care guys. And I'll catch you all next time. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you in 2018. Well, hello. Oh crap, Toxic Man. Hello. How are you doing? I wasn't expecting anyone to pop in at this late. How are you? You caught me as I was literally just ending off, but yeah, how are you, Toxic Man? You here for... This is awkward. You know, I could just go to the gallery. Like, you know, spend some time chilling here. Just look at some of the CGs that this game has to offer. Oh, look at all those facial expressions. We could relive some of the moments that we'd spent. Good, and you? Yeah, pretty good myself. I'm definitely really enjoying this game. Is this a game that you know of, or like how did you find the stream? Just wondering. I remember when all this had happened. Good times. I've been looking at this game for a while now. Oh wow, nice. So, do you have it yourself? Like, have you been playing it yourself, or are you, by looking at it, do you mean just like following it, or actually playing it, or what exactly is your take on that? I realize that this will look super awkward as I plan to export this to YouTube, but why not? Actually, I love the soundtrack for this game, so I'm gonna go ahead and have something playing. Damn, I've got like almost everything here. I'm only missing a few songs. It's been an experience and a half. Alright, that definitely sounds really good. Oh, nice. What route did you end up going on? Or are you on any route? Saya's currently. Hey, nice. Saya's actually my favorite girl, although for the stream I'm deciding to go with Hikari's route because I feel like she's the quote-unquote canon girl, or the girl that Akito would have likely gone with. But that was my reasoning for it. Let me know if you, like, you know, enjoy Saya's route or whatever. She's a really awesome character. She's probably my favorite, if not Corona. One of those two. That is a nice song. But yeah, unfortunately, in case you missed my rant earlier, I may end up putting this game on hiatus. I mean, at this point I most likely will, because Moe Novel is not okay with people streaming an ending, any of their endings, last I heard. So I'll have to get in contact with them. If they say it's alright, then I could just continue on with Hikari's route. But otherwise, I might have to end up putting this on hiatus until I can find the time to stream an ending once they're more alright with it. That's kind of my current situation. But I do have other visual novels as well. I could split, but let me say one thing. Do they like it better than Hikari's? Yeah, maybe. Have you already seen Hikari's? Originally, I was going to go down Corona's route, but I wanted this stream to have, like, the streaming experience for this game since I'm doing it live. I wanted the game to have much more impact, and I'm sure that Hikari's route will have a lot of that. Considering all the stuff that we've been through, at least in my current interpretation of things. Not yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Alright. Well, definitely be sure, like, you know, if you've been enjoying this, I have a bunch of visual novels. Feel free to drop a follow over on the side there on either my Twitter account or just follow the stream. And you can definitely expect to see me streaming not only this game, but a lot of games like this. As again, I do have a lot of visual novels. Some of which are ones like Clanad, Shuffle, Little Busters, Lucy, The Eternity She Dreamed Of. I could actually pull up my Steam library, because I have a whole visual novel thing. I've already streamed If My Heart Had Wings. I have The Fruit of Grisaya, Go-Go Nippon, My First Trip to Japan, and Princess Evangile. All as selections of visual novels that I could stream. So yeah, feel free to pop a follow if you're interested in keeping up with my streams. You can follow my Twitter account at Ichikyo_ over there. Follow the stream if you're interested in this type of stuff and want to see more of, like, not only this game but other games like it. And as well, I do have a public Discord server. If you scroll down, if you have a Discord, scroll down if you're on web browser, and there'll be a, what's it called? There'll be a panel for my public Discord server. I've tried to get it rolling. There's a few people in there, like a small amount, but it's growing. And thank you for the follow, Toxic Man. There it goes. So, thanks so much for that. And I will be seeing you around for other ones, I hope. This one has been a super interesting experience so far. I've been enjoying streaming it, and definitely, again, if you hadn't been able to tell, have fallen pretty deep into visual novel hell. And it's amusing that, you know, I get to just spend this type of stuff. Overall, my streams are meant to just kind of chillax. They're very, very chill streams. I'm a very chill dude, so, you know, if you've had like a long day or something, just sit back, enjoy a visual novel. You know, these are like really great games for like relaxing and just chilling with, so, yeah. In the end, I am super sorry you had to catch me. Like, you literally like, the moment you said, well, hello, I was actually ready to hit the stop streaming button. Like, I'm not even kidding. I was so ready to just hit stop streaming. And then I saw your comment, I was like, oh crap. Let's just, you know, try and get a bit of a convo going, because I definitely am interested in talking to more people about this game and other people just with visual novels in general, so it was definitely really nice, for sure. But I do have to still eat dinner. It's 9:30, so to catch you up, next stream I'll be returning to a game that I started streaming a while ago, called Reciteer. It's an RPG, but still a pretty interesting one, as well as I might either go for Closer's Dimension Online, which is an early access open beta. It's also free to play, so for anyone that's there, but I'll go more into that as the time comes. I might also end up streaming Asu or something, as was a request from one of my other viewers. So yeah, that'll be it for now, and I'll catch you all by my next stream, which should either be Tuesday or Wednesday. And just follow my Twitter for when I plan to go live, because I definitely tweet on that when I go live. And thanks so much again. Catch you all next stream. Peace.